Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this. Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live, yo.
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
For the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
Experience.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kumar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kumar.
Welcome to the party.
And Simon. Mazel tov.
Welcome to the dark side.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to talk about the week, go over each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. Kumar, there's definitely new patrons. I know that for a fact.
Have you ever seen Field of Dreams?
Of course. If you build it, he will come.
And at the end of the movie, it's just the unimaginable is imagined.
Yeah.
I feel like this sort of like that moment. If you build it, it'll come. Can I get a roar for Tyler Roar?
Tyler Roar.
That's a new patron.
Yep.
Thank you, Tyler, so much
I'm not saying his name because he's an old one.
for joining.
Then can I get a shout out to Grant Lewis?
Grant Lewis.
Are they also a patron? Thank
What
you.
is you speak of?
Thank you, Grant Lewis.
Well, big shout out to Grant Lewis and a shout out to Brian Warren.
Brian Warren.
What a week. Brian Warren is also a patron, Kumar.
You know it.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Shout out to KDT Jazz 21.
KDT Jazz 21.
What is going
Let's
on?
go. It's happening,
He
Simon.
said it. Field of Dreams. What part were you listening to? If you build it, they will come.
I thought
Stop,
he was
stop it.
doing the movie.
He's not
game.
done. There's one more.
Well, you didn't give
To who? Sorry.
KDT 21.
Katie, thank you so much.
That's not what it is, Simon. But and a big shout out to Kevin Gomila.
Kevin Gomia.
Coming back. I remember
we
Kevin.
know Kevin.
Yeah,
Thank you,
good.
Kevin.
So it doesn't mean you
Shout out.
don't thank them
No,
when they come
I
back.
thanked.
We already know Kevin. Fucking dismissive. Kumar, you want to go over the guests?
Kevin, thank you so much.
Yeah,
We really
all of you.
appreciate
Thank you to all of you.
coming back to the
All of the Patreons, thank you for your
Jungle.
support. I don't know if I communicate being grateful, but I am
That is
really
insane.
grateful. If you can't join the Patreon, at least like and subscribe, leave a comment.
This
tickle
is
the
our
algorithm.
biggest Patreon week ever.
We're down to
Probably,
like
yeah.
2,982. Like it's serious now, yeah. Thank you so much to everybody. Like and subscribe, leave a comment.
How odd.
Kumar, you want to go over the
Speechless.
guest list so we
I
can...
am speechless.
Oh, what a week. What a week. What a week. What a week. I was telling Simon a long time ago, he gave me this piggy bank that was like a little, what was it made of, Simon? Like stone or plaster? It was
Resin,
really heavy.
maybe?
It was, no, you could kill someone with it. It was like a solid,
You can kill someone with
it's
just about
ceramic.
anything.
it's ceramic. That's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
And so and it's Lenin. And it says Das Kapital on it.
And it's a piggy bank. That's funny.
Yeah, I get it. I get the irony of it.
And I had it in my bedroom. Right now, it's in my bedroom still. I was going to bring it because in the top of it where the coins go, there's a little flag that says Trump 2024.
Kamar has a thing.
And I was going to bring this as the ultimate irony. It was going to be a think piece.
Kamar has a thing about famous dictators watching him as he jerks off.
That makes sense.
I don't think he was a dictator. I don't know what you call
Both
him.
Trump and Lenin.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'd like to start the week with
Nice.
country music superstar 2216 Luke Bryan, followed by particle physics professor 2217 Brian Cox.
I just fell asleep as he was starting to talk about Brian Cox.
It wasn't my delivery though.
No, just
We're Gucci.
as soon as I hear his
2218
his name.
Mr. Tinfoil Hat Sam Chibley's back. And then dun, 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 dun. I wish we had dropped to start playing the American National Anthem. 2219 Donald Trump in the House. I was trying to scour to find out how many times Joe said he'd never be on to illustrate how nothing is real.
Yeah.
The
And
podcast.
people can say anything, and there is no accountability, and there's no reason to, like, if you're being successful, get that bag, King. I'm sorry.
This is the podcast everybody knew was coming and nobody wanted.
Speak for yourself.
I did call it.
But hold on, he had been on all sorts of other things. Were you waiting on Joe, like the investigative journalist, to like dig deep into
Do I get my flowers?
It's a cosign. It's the ultimate cosign. Yeah, no, it's not special, him being there.
I did say he'd be on before he'd gone on any of these other podcasts. I said,
Yeah,
trust
no,
me.
Matt did, and I thought to myself, "There's no way Joe's going to be that giant a flip flopper." But like here we are.
I've always said it. It's a skill, actually, as we see it as a
Trump too. Trump tweeted out like a month
personality.
ago, Joe Rogan is a terrible American.
100%.
a tiny little man with tiny little problems.
I also mentioned, Simon, that there was a fight companion, which we don't cover, fight companions and the like. But there was a time.
Did you listen to it?
Clips. I just watched a clip of them talking about the actual. We would have listened to it. We could have listened to it while we were.
Yeah, but
watch the
not
yeah.
with Jarrah here. Weird.
He's aware that Joe Rogan is a right wing conservative podcast. Anyways, that aside, there would be a time when we would have listened to Fight Companions, and sometimes may have walked out saying it actually was better than the whole week. It was a bunch of schlubs or whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone on the show is great, and that's a detriment to our fandom. And I think it's just by being overrun by Joe and shocked by every twist and turn when you think you know something, much like the NFL.
Rate the week. What do you give it? What do you give
I
it?
give it 4.
I don't see how that's fucking possible.
No, I'm gonna have to go with like 2.75.
Oh, 2. 2 is generous. 2. This week fucking stank.
There we are.
Yeah, you know what? He's probably right.
2.
It's probably closer to the truth, to the tooth.
I really am trying to listen to these shows with like not because I got to talk about it, whatever, just what are they talking about? You know what I mean?
Like Kamar wouldn't tune into this right-wing political
Yeah.
podcast
I'm
anyways.
trying to actually listen and to hear
Are you?
what they're saying.
What are they saying?
Oh, well, it depends. I guess we're starting off with Luke Bryan.
No, we're starting off with Donald Trump.
The 2219 Donald Trump.
God, this was the worst.
This really was the worst. And Matt said it yesterday. What did you say? I listened to this whole podcast and don't feel like I know anything more about Donald Trump.
No, you didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
I did say that.
I thought you said. Nothing he said made me like him.
Oh,
I
any
also,
more
I
or
also
any
said
less?
that.
Something
yeah.
like that.
I agree with both of those statements. This podcast was so fucking unnecessary
Yeah, oh, yeah. It was
because
just a gang of glazing.
it
Redundant.
just didn't even make any sense. I can't believe 3 hours went by
I couldn't either.
because it felt like they talked about absolutely nothing.
That is what they talked about.
Well, they talked about him because he's Trump.
They didn't really talk about
Well, no,
him,
I have a
though,
timestamp
like-
when it swung, as it always does.
What's funny is this. When Joe Biden is old, Joe is like, this guy has dementia and he needs to be taken out. I understand that Joe Biden is dementia old. Donald Trump is old and speaks like he's old. Joe at one point was like, you're a great weaver. And I was like, no, this is an old man. You're
That's
listening.
what happened to my grandfather when he used to forget what he was talking about mid-conversation, but he wouldn't want to admit it.
No,
so
just
he would
swap
just
over to a new thing.
And you know what? It happens to me all the
Seamless.
time. I'm wondering, that's probably not a good sign.
Or it's where you're going. The point being is, even though he rambles and rumbles, he brings it back and seems like
No.
he's understanding. No, you can see deflection of questions.
He doesn't bring it back, though. He says he brings it back, but he doesn't bring it back.
No, often he does not answer questions. Like, he learned how to be a politician. These are a couple points. First of all, did you hate him when he was on The Apprentice? That's what they started talking about him.
I never watched The Apprentice.
I watched The Apprentice. Sorry,
No, go ahead. You asked a question, but if you want to answer your own question, go right ahead.
I apologize. Did you watch The Apprentice?
I did not.
Touche.
Now, are you going to ask me?
Simon, did you watch The
I should
Apprentice?
have
Do you want an answer?
Actually, we should play telephone.
Simon, did you watch The Apprentice?
I did watch The Apprentice.
Did you enjoy it?
And no, I didn't like Donald Trump. Like, he was always the part of that show I liked the least.
He was just so obnoxious.
He was so obnoxious.
But the show was about giving to charity. Like it seemed.
No.
It was TMP. It was TMP.
That was when it was Celebrity Apprentice. When it was Normal Apprentice, those people won the apprenticeship
and
with
they would
Donald
go to
Trump.
go to a business try to help it that was in one of his small businesses. But did you think of him as a horrible landlord, all that stuff?
Yes.
Well, I didn't. I mean, wasn't so much. It's Kushner that's the slumlord. He's just a greasy real estate.
No,
businessman.
Trump
Before his daughter,
always
he had to
a
do shady deals or whatever.
Always had a reputation as a guy like he.
That's different. Shady
hired
deals is different.
Carpenters and never paid them.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
just, you know.
that's what I just
that's
said. He's a greasy businessman. I always knew that about him. I didn't know like Kushner is a straight up slumlord.
Slumlords. Yeah. They
like,
own like low income property. Yeah, for sure.
There's a difference. That's all I'm saying.
And they also bought 666.
For a stupid amount of money.
Yeah, Park Avenue.
Kamar, I didn't feel like because I didn't watch The Apprentice, I didn't feel one way or the other. Like
You saw one of those first memes, though. You're fired.
yeah, of course. But when Simon's like he was obnoxious, it was fine because you're like being obnoxious
show.
on reality TV is like part and parcel.
It wasn't even reality TV. Like, in all fairness,
Well, nothing is,
You
but-
never thought that was like really Trump hiring
Yeah.
and firing these people. It was part of the show.
Yeah.
This like reality format of a show, a game show.
Kamar, it starts
like the
like
mole.
3 minutes in when Joe's like, listen, I just want to know like first day in, like what's it like? Like what, you get into office, what's it like? And the weave begins.
Ted.
Well, no, becoming president, describe it.
No, yeah, and then he starts by
And he never gets
wait,
there.
no, not only that, he starts by being like, listen, Joe, driving down Pennsylvania Avenue, I see a building that I bought once, beautiful building, tall building, one of the most beautiful tall buildings. Then he's like,
Couldn't get it passed because of regulation by the liberals.
regulation,
Let me add,
very
Joe.
bad, very bad. Then I go to the White House, Joe, the whitest house, the most beautiful house. No one talks about the White House, beautiful. I go into Lincoln's room. Lincoln, tall guy, 6'7", one of the tallest guys in history. Back then, a monster, a giant. Not as big as my Baron, of course, 6'9", very tall guy. You know that Lincoln and his wife Mary, they had melancholia.
He sounds like Dr. Evil.
They didn't have depression back then, Joe. They had melancholia. And their son Ted. Dad. But he never answered the question.
Yeah, no.
Joe's simple question was like the Lincoln or
Dude,
not the
the-
JFK thing.
Dude, the best is just one sec, where he goes, most people don't know, Joe, but the White House is actually a very beautiful building.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows that, asshole. Most people think it's metal doors, and that nobody thinks that. Like, we all see it on TV. It's beautiful.
I assume most people think outhouse shanty shithole.
In there,
No, but what were you saying about JFK?
Well, no, okay, go ahead, Kumar.
he did say that one of your first jobs is you have to create 100 appointees, and these people want their jobs. These people want these jobs. They want these jobs. These people there, they want these jobs. So that idea that you have to hire 100 people. I mean, if we can just say, what does a president do?
Can I also just say how like shitty a person you have to be like, think about it. He's never had a job.
Well,
So no, but hear me out.
He's
The
never worked
idea,
for someone
the
else.
idea that someone would really want a job is so gross to him. Like, yeah, people.
well, he tried to make it seem like because they want power, and everyone's just.
You just became president, asshole. What a weird thing. These people out here wanting power.
Well, could it be but could it be possible? Could it be possible? Every other president knows a lot more about the day after. Anyone in politics before they become president, senator, governor, general, have a bit better idea of what they're going to have to do than he did.
George Bush's dad could have probably given him a pretty good idea of what he was in store for on that first day as president.
But George Bush probably would have, if not for that, wouldn't be president. But without his dad going in like a nincompoop and needing Dick Cheney.
I just want to say something before I forget.
Sure.
I would never usually do this, but I'm going to give the props to Flagrant on this because they had Donald Trump on before Joe Rogan, might I add.
Yeah.
And they actually pressed him where they said, you know, you, instead of like, Joe, you're a great weaver, they said, you deflect. You know what I mean? You're a deflector.
Yeah.
And they asked him who he thought killed him. Remember? I think we talked about this.
Shot him, you mean?
Shot at him. Who was trying to kill him?
Yeah.
And he goes on this huge rant and ends up at like Lincoln's bedroom. You know what I mean? And Ted. And they rang him back in. They're like, you're doing it again. Like, just tell us who you know what I mean? They actually pressed him, which is something Joe never did in this episode. He just let him fucking meander and then patted him on the back for like going down a path that nobody asked him to go down, you know?
The weird thing is this, like you would assume, I mean, I get it that Joe got this through Dana, who's his friend, so he can't really press the issue, right?
No, Joe is doing Trump.
We don't know anything.
Here. Let's be fucking realistic. This is all for Trump because he needs this, because all these liberals are going on all these podcasts to fucking millions of people out there, and Kamala is about to get into office. Like, this is a last-ditch effort. Are you fucking kidding me?
Such a fucking long shot example, but you're going to break into Logan Paul's house and find out that Dylan Dennis is their Manny. No.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Nothing
I wish
is
I had
real.
a car wreck button right there.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
These guys hate each other, but in real life, he's their nanny, and they're like trying to make him money. Like, it's the whole thing is. So when we sit here and go, they got this, that, we really don't know a lot of people that have these conversations, right?
But hold on. This, I think we can all agree, if we're looking like, you know, from the outside on this one, this is for Trump. Joe doesn't need this. He doesn't need to get bigger. You know what I mean?
Has
like,
he had any politicians ever on and really push back against him, though?
He shouldn't have had Trump on, period.
He had Bernie Sanders on.
And then he said, I'm never doing this again.
Okay,
and he could have been part of this election from the outside, like a journalist is supposed to be. You know what I mean? Watching from the outside and reporting on the news.
He's a cage fight commentator. He's a moron.
Okay,
We'll just resort to that. It's a good out. It's a good out.
Sorry. Anyways, I don't mean to get excited.
How about this, though? It is crazy that he was able to beat all the guys that are all these Jeb Bush, whatever, Marco Rubio, all these politicians have been in this for how many years, go for the throat, this is their place, and just like obliterate them. They sort of discuss
those guys.
What is that? His ego is so obnoxious, it's hilarious.
Those guys were all schmucks.
No, but
none didn't have a personality amongst them. So they were just going to scoot through on like name recognition or the fact that nobody gave a fuck. This guy comes up. I think any comedian could have come out and started poking holes in that ship. You know what I mean? I don't think Trump is so fucking special.
Okay, I'm trying not to put him on pedestal, even though I am glazing or whatever. And it is true, though, that defund the police has been bad.
Terrible idea.
Terrible idea. Even here we see it. I can talk about it sitting down with someone. Last night it came up, just whatever, this bad thing in the neighborhood.
You were in the wrong spot for that, man.
No. It was just talking about the state of our city. Like, what?
Were you staring at the girl across the street who sets up next to the outlet in her sleeping bag? So it's getting cold now. She's going to have to.
I did a show at that cat restaurant last night, and there were 6 people.
Humble brag.
Having a pop-up meth party.
In the restaurant?
In the stairwell of the restaurant.
Nice.
Shit's
out of control.
Defund the police, not bad.
I don't think that has anything to do with defunding the police, though. Like, our police didn't get defunded. No, that didn't spill down from America.
Across the board, there's been this sort of different approach that they're trying.
After COVID, something happened where things they would have done the week before all of a sudden weren't possible to do.
Hold on. I was also going to say, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm going to.
But you did.
It's a weird thing. Like, if you make all of a sudden things that used to be illegal legal, then it has nothing to do with funding or defunding the police, right? Like, if you just hear me out, I'm not saying that I agree with what you're saying. Defunding the police, bad idea. But if tomorrow the city decides like drunk driving is no longer a charge, and that you can, I don't know.
This is difficult to talk about because the government would have to decide. You think about bylaws. Yeah, I guess it could be just some bylaws. You can't smoke crack in public is a bylaw, but it would just still be just a fine. You need 10 fines. The point is, the guy was telling he's an HVAC guy. He was going to this place, and when he got there, someone had thrown
A propane tank through the window.
someone whipped a propane tank through the window of this drugstore.
It's terrible.
Went in and robbed the place. They caught him, and he was out like six hours later. You know, reconnaissance, show up at your bail hearing or whatever, because they don't lock people up. Like, rightfully so, because we're compassionate. But you're like,
What do you mean we're compassionate though? When we
We're
were young,
compa-
if you threw a propane tank through a window and you were high on meth,
every time I got arrested, for sure, even myself, I got released.
yeah, but you spent a night in jail.
A couple hours. It is to say a night, but it's not like it's not half a day. or
Hold
something.
on, but
8 hours.
robbery, then you're like,
This guy smashed into this drugstore.
This is what I'm saying.
Stole
It's theft.
stuff,
It's theft. It's
got
destruction of
booked,
property.
locked up for a couple hours, and got released.
you know what's interesting, and I never thought about this before. Sorry, just backtracking to something we were talking about. So during COVID, that was like the most captive audience the
Media
has ever
everyone's
had.
on the
Like
couch.
everybody together was on the couch staring at the same shows, the same Tiger King, the same whatever was coming out. We were all watching it at the same time.
For a bit.
So if they made a bunch of movies where they were telling you a certain point of view, it would have been really easy for like all of us to adopt that point of view and not even really realize that it was happening.
and feel it as a truth.
And feel it as a truth, where it wasn't a truth at all. It was just that normally 5% of the people are watching the same thing at the same time. So you're never going to get this like mass consensus on something like that because, well, you're watching woke nonsense. We're watching the Hillbilly Games or whatever.
No,
the
or
fuck,
you're not
you
watching
know?
anything because you work 80 hours of work.
Or you're
a
not
week.
watching anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's interesting.
But from what point? As we said, when when there was less media, they even had a better focus.
When there was less media.
Like
yeah.
with all our social media, it had been more fractured, and for a time, the pandemic, scamdemic, whatever you want to call it, brought us back on the same page for a bit. What's the most beautiful word in the world?
Cellar door.
Tariffs, Joe. Tariffs is the most beautiful word in the world.
But don't you find that interesting too? Like, it's such a political thing. I was telling you this last night. Tariffs is another word for tax.
on another country, though.
Yeah,
Not
no, I understand, but again, like it's like when George Bush Sr. was like, "Read my lips, no new taxes." You know what I mean? Like, I get it. He's not taxing his own people. He wants to tax. Like, first of all, this affects us.
yeah. It's no good for us.
Because he wants to tax the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Now, guaranteed, if he gets in again in that 4 years, he'll tear down NAFTA somehow.
Our hope is that he sees Trudeau get voted out and what's his name get voted in, and they actually like each other, and then he doesn't do shit, because this is all based on Trump not liking Trudeau. If it was like a dude in there that he could get along with, we probably don't have any, as Kamar says, tariffs.
The most beautiful word in the world, Joe.
You know, you gotta really work on that.
No,
Donald Trump.
I should if I wanted to, but it's almost wood.
It's like a Bernie.
But tariffs is the most beautiful word in the world. Do you think Starlink is a good thing or bad thing? It sounds pretty cool. If you're like, it's not off the grid, obviously, because someone knows where we are. But anywhere you could be.
That was the dumbest conversation ever. And that's one of the reasons why Donald Trump probably shouldn't be in charge of the most powerful country in the world. Because he's like, what are we laying lines for, Joe? If 4 satellites go down, then no one has the internet. That seems like a fucking disaster. Does it not? There's a reason that we lay fiber optic wire. Because it's better. Like, I'm not saying Starlink is bad. I think it's great.
It's better, but it's the best we have right now. I was more
No,
thinking
no.
how much you spend on your internet.
Just hold on a sec. Starlink.
Yeah.
This is Elon getting rich, going against.
I understand. It's
norm.
just
Like,
like
it's the
it's just
same
like
thing.
him burrowing a tunnel. No. It's just like him not wanting the light rail in
This
California
is
so
what
that he
that
could
is.
sell
But
more
that
cars.
went nowhere.
That's the
That
point.
was the point.
But Starlink is something.
Is it?
Oh,
No.
Oh, you think you could lose Starlink as
come on.
easily as you could
Well,
lose?
No, you're missing my point.
Any communication.
Well, that's true for sure.
You missed my point. My point was you were like, that didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere because he wanted to sell cars. Tesla is a product that he sells, just like Starlink is a product he sells. If he can get Donald Trump to say, we don't need to ever lay any fiber optic wire anymore because we're just going to use Starlink forever, then all of a sudden, like, dude, that could seem great for 10 years, 15 years. And then, like I said, 2 satellites go down because we have space junk up there.
This is the like, where does he sell the most cars? California, right? Like, that's a fact. Hot climates.
I would
That's
assume
where
Texas and
Teslas are
California.
made
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why he did that.
I know it is. I
If
know
they
it is.
bring in that system of public transportation, then cars become a thing of the past. You know?
Well, not so much a thing of the past.
No, but then you don't need this fucking green initiative because you're already going green. If everybody stops driving, if it's so convenient for you to get onto the whatever to get downtown LA, why would you ever drive?
Sometimes I wonder if, back to tariffs, at some point in our country's development, had we been more like focused on becoming completely
Mike.
self-sustaining and what's it called? It's not nationalistic.
Yeah, if we had made more of our own shit.
Suffered without pineapple sometime or whatever, but made self-sustaining, completely self-sustaining, because I still don't know what we need.
But you don't have to. It's a weird, like what you're doing is weird. You don't have to suffer without pineapples. You trade with other countries. That is the whole idea of like international trade
But we are suggesting that it's all broken.
Yeah, and he's saying if there starts world wars and there is no more trading because everybody tightens up their borders and whatever, then you're still making your own stuff. But you can grow your own
1921, someone had a deal.
pineapples. Like, what are you talking
No,
about?
a horrible
we can't.
example.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
Inside, they can't grow
the
pineapples.
pineapple
Won't be the
is
best
irrelevant.
pineapple in the world, but
Listen, if
it'll
we-
be.
maybe you're right, a bunch
Come
of
on.
greenhouses,
They can grow
probably. It's a
whatever the fuck
placeholder.
they
It's a
want,
placeholder.
and we have so much space.
You're
We could build so many greenhouses. We could.
I'm not.
Who are you stopping?
The pineapple. You're being too specific at the pineapple. The pineapple doesn't matter.
No, I'm using it as an example to the fact that we could grow anything we fucking want here.
Oh, you're supporting me.
Yes.
Oh, my bad. Pause. Continue.
No,
This guy's the worst.
I'm done now. But go on.
Talk. Joe.
He just says words now, man.
Joe is
baloney.
Talk.
Joe is reading questions.
What does that mean?
What does that?
I don't think I've ever seen him read a question.
What do you mean? He read a question.
He was like looking down, and it was something about
Like he had pre-prepared questions. You're
yeah.
saying? I get what you're saying. Yeah.
which is not a conversation.
What was the question he pre-prepared, just out of curiosity?
I believe it was leading into the pandemic, which Trump wove as or deflected into. Everything was about to happen. He'd all figured out the swamp. He had drained it mostly and was about to just drop the hammer. And
I don't think that's not true. I don't think that's not necessarily true.
Oh no, the question was, okay, you said you're making some more money. How did you create the biggest deficit? Is it deficit? Yeah, deficit. What's the other one? The debt. The deficit is the tax.
So he wanted to know
Trillions of
how
dollars.
he had so much money left
If you're so
over.
fiscally responsible, why do you have such a big? Why did you run such a big deficit?
Okay.
Just like Trudeau does, he blamed it on the pandemic.
Okay.
We had to spend a bunch of money to keep people afloat, to keep businesses. I mean, everyone did that. There's another thing that we all
I mean,
did,
that's
sort of in common.
true, right?
We do have to. No, the other school is like keep everything open. If we all die in the sheets, we all die in the sheets. And you would not have run the deficit. We would have learned very quickly, as we now know, right? In hindsight.
I'm sorry. What?
Every country that locked down
Yeah.
and then paid everyone to stay home
Yeah.
borrowed a lot of money in that time period, which considerably contributed to the deficit.
Okay, but your argument, like Trump was the president, and as you're arguing about like Biden and Kamala right now, he had all the power. He didn't have to lock anyone down.
Well, and they
Yeah, no,
didn't even give anybody money.
No, they did. Not a lot.
Everybody got like a one-time check for $1,000.
No, but the states gave him money. It all worked out. Obviously, we're here. But what I'm saying is,
well, they lost tons of businesses.
the question is, why did you? If business is going so good, if Trump,
Yeah.
This is the question he read. That's
Yeah,
all the reason I'm
please.
saying.
Okay.
Why did you run such a big deficit? Shouldn't we be making a bunch of money? And he said the pandemic.
Right. And that was when he said before,
And
if this had not happened, I would have been killing it.
No, I was saying if you had not locked down, it was just an alternative. We all locked down, and we as well have a huge deficit, which our prime minister says is because of the pandemic. When people say why are you so much over budget?
For this term, they were already running a humongous deficit.
Oh well, the government consistently runs a deficit, but in the budget they say it's gonna cost you $40 billion to run all our services for this year, and then it comes up at the end of the year it's $46 billion.
Sure. Sorry, we're getting
Trump
stuck
was
on
saying
stupid semantics.
had the pandemic not happened, and he don't get done with otherwise, we'd be flush with cash right now.
Well, I mean, we'll never know,
Oh no, that's impossible.
but I'm sure he was.
Hold on, whoa. Pull up right now what the U.S. debt, what the U.S. national debt is, and then explain to me how.
No, sorry. I don't think that's what he meant. I think he
don't
meant
think that's what I
his
meant.
time in office, they would have ran a surplus instead of a deficit.
By his inflated, I'm the greatest, everything I do is about to
But
happen.
hold on, but
You're
wait.
not getting the U.S. out of debt.
No, of course not. But
That's,
let me ask you a question then. You just said it like, since we know for a fact that everything this guy says is like, I'm the best, brag. He'll never admit any fault or wrong. He would never say he's anything other than the
No
best.
presidents ever do. They always say it was the term, I'm inheriting a problem from my predecessor. That's common. Like that happens. And maybe that is true. Maybe you do inherit problems from your
But
predecessor.
I'm just trying to compare because you can, like our prime minister is saying the exact same thing. If not for this pandemic, we would be thriving right now. And I'm the person that can deal with the challenges and get this back to and we're all accepting it.
No.
The
What
Americans
does that
accepting it.
mean? We're all accepting it. We haven't even gone to the fucking polls yet.
Well, I guess that's where we will decide.
That is where we will decide. Yeah, that's how this
That's
goes.
how that works. Yeah, that's pretty much what elections
Trump is
are.
adamant it was Wuhan, no messing around. And if you were a tinfoil hat, as our guest Futuron will be wearing,
As our guest Futuron will be wearing.
what if the pandemic was the huge machine? Trump is the savior. Just in this other parallel, as Brian Cox says, universe.
Okay, yeah.
And they're like, Russia didn't work. This didn't work. The impeachment didn't work.
You think they release COVID
No.
on the world to stop Donald Trump?
Someone does. Slow down.
But do you
Slow
think
down.
that?
No, I think he suggested that.
That they release COVID to stop
what
him?
if that was what it was?
I mean, that would be insane.
He was about to slap all these tariffs on China, like fuck them back into the Stone Age, according to him. Maybe he wasn't.
Oh, I see. This was China retaliating
Wuhan, that's what he said.
for these potential tariffs.
I mean, that's who knows.
We've heard crazier things.
Like, listen, nothing's out of the realm, I guess. I don't know.
And Trump says he takes all the regulations off. And we've always had a battle of like some regulations and the red tape of doing stuff could be a bad thing. But
Well, when you're a slumlord and when you want to build buildings wherever you want, whenever you want, of course you want to get rid of regulation. Why would you
Well,
not?
no.
Why would you want any regulation? Like, again, Trump is like, I wanted to build a 70-story building on this coastline and they wouldn't let me. It's like, that's a common thing. And there's a reason for it usually, Kumar.
this is more like
We wanted to harvest these pandas for their furs.
well, no, what I was thinking in a diabolical way yesterday. He was talking more about environmental regulations,
Yeah.
forestry, water, that sort of stuff. Not
Well, that's a problem.
building is sort of small.
That's a problem.
But
If he
Joe-
starts fucking
Joe-
with like the parks.
You make this wall, it's 8 feet thick, Joe. It's off by an inch. Got to take the whole thing down. That sort of regulation.
Listen, Joe,
And every
concrete number 12, thicker than steel, stronger than
magical.
steel.
Every common person goes,
Just to point out, we have a perfect example in Montreal of a system that was not regulated properly. It was run by the mob. And they built bridges that now fall on people's heads. Like, it's not a good thing. It's why we have these strict regulations.
You know what's funny is you're sitting there.
building regulations.
Yeah, building
What
regulations.
if we cut down a big part of Algonquin Park?
No, I don't like it. Why would you do that?
It's so big.
Fuck you, but for what?
See, it's so weird he says that. Like, think of all
For money.
think of all the
What
land.
if there's a huge cobalt deposit?
Okay, now we're talking. If there is a huge cobalt deposit, then we have something to talk about. But if you just want to cut down trees willy-nilly, like, no, I'm not into it. To put up condos or whatever.
He mentioned the same thing that happens here.
No, but hold on.
He's gone. No, he's done with
No,
that
no,
point.
it's a very
Matt.
weird-
I
it's-
won the
no, but
argument,
just-
and it's over.
It's just so interesting to me that you're like, what if we like you for no reason you're like, what if we just cut down a section of Algonquin Park? And Simon said for what? And you said, I don't know, money. And then you went, maybe there's a cobalt mine up there.
Yes,
Like,
yeah, no, it's
we have
money,
a
it's money.
massive.
The
we have-
answer's always money.
I know we have a massive country though, and you're like, listen, I'm with you that we probably have resources untapped
moving
that we
on.
should be tapping.
Clip that.
You can't just do it willy nilly. Like there are certain things you want to take care of. Like wildlife is important.
Or if we get into the next guess, like 3 years, 28 days, 9 seconds from now, none of this matters. And quantum computing zaps us into a wormhole before we knew what's going on.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
No, I have a phase. You're like, I want someone 200 years from now who lives in the neighborhood I live to be able to drive up to Algonquin Park and have a fantastic time with their family and know that that's always there.
Like, why do I give a fuck?
You'll never
I'm not going to be. You know what? I changed my mind. Cut it down. Cut it down. Burn it all.
Oh, baby,
Burn it
bro.
all.
Obviously, I'm being hyperbolic, but
No, you're right, Kamar. What do I fucking
he did
care?
mention some of the fires in California are caused by poor forest management.
Yeah.
Because you have to clear that out, and it seems like a lot of money, but the cost of everyone burning and dying ends up being more.
I don't know if there's a lot of like burning and dying.
Burning and dying, Joe.
People's property burning.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
So Trump's afraid of nuclear. When Joe posed him that question, I think it's very interesting that the windmills.
Well, hold on. Wait. Trump made it very clear.
windmills?
Trump made it very clear that he is all about oil. That's all he cares about.
I
So
know.
of course he hates nuclear.
He said he was afraid.
That's
he's
a
never
ve-
afraid.
It's a very tall tale. Tall like my son Baron,
Baron's-
who's very tall.
Baron's
Joe,
6'9".
6'11". I think he might be 6'13". Joe, it's a height that doesn't exist, but he is a Trump.
Huge penis, Joe. Massive penis on my son. You wouldn't believe it.
No, he really did that at some point. Like they said the word tall in a totally different context,
know.
and he said, "Oh, tall, like my son."
Yeah, he's a
Baron."
word association guy.
It's amazing. He's like Mark Norman.
Yeah. Hey, gay.
Never talks about any of his other children, by the way. Didn't mention them once in the whole episode. Mentioned
not.
Barron about 17 times.
Well, it's because he's the golden boy and he wants him to be the next president. So
Well, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but
I don't.
any incumbent president who has been over 6'5" has won 95% of the time over the shorter.
Sorry, Short Kings.
You know that men over.
I
what
just
is it?
made that up and you believed it.
I don't like you.
Yeah, no, that's not true. But I bet that is true.
Well, there's some stat about men over 6'5" are like there's like an 85% chance you'll be successful.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's just like how ChatGPT is like, if your name is Jim and you're white and played lacrosse, you're getting the job.
I feel if you have like a foot long penis, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
Speaking of penises,
Yeah,
the
Baron
windmills.
Trump has a huge penis.
And you know what else is huge? The windmills that are 5 stories high
Yeah, those are big
in
windmills.
the middle of the ocean. That's crazy when you think of the. They talked about the rocket. I was going to talk about Brian Cox, but have you seen the footage of
The rocket landing?
catching it?
Yeah.
Anything that's like a rocket that a YouTuber could build or something, but it's 20 stories high. Like it's.
I've been watching this show on whatever. It's like a Western set in Australia. And they don't ride horses, they ride ATVs, and they have all these like weird fucking Mad Max type machines that come up next to the cattle and just scoop them up with this robotic arm. Like, and anything's possible, man.
Yes. But the windmills are bothering the whales. Just alternative energies they were talking about. It's good about oil.
But I'm
nuclear.
curious.
Something has to happen for these computers coming down the pike.
I'm pretty sure other countries have had windmill farms for decades, and I've never heard
So it's
about.
proven.
I've never heard about this sudden whales like freaking out. I'm just.
As he says, that's what I heard.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if you look into Costa Rica, I'm pretty sure they run 98% of their grid off wind energy, and I don't think they have like a mass whale.
Well, are they out in the ocean or are they on land? Like we have a lot of windmills. Most of them are not in the ocean.
Well, Costa Rica is a small island
Oh no,
nation.
Costa
so
Rica maybe. I'm just saying like
It's not. It's landlocked.
no. So yeah, shut the fuck.
No,
up.
it's not landlocked. It's got water on every side. It's attached.
Yeah,
it's not an island.
It's not an island.
There are islands in it. Maybe.
No, but it's still a small nation.
Yeah,
Was his point.
absolutely.
I'm sorry, Matt. I shouldn't have told you to shut the fuck up.
I shouldn't
I
have
don't even
corrected
give a
you either.
fuck.
You were right on the money.
His finest weave of the 3 hours was with accepting the election results. He almost said he lost. No, I'm just kidding. I never lose.
Well, it was a great weave because Joe was like, no, just tell me, like, just give me an example of how you think you lost. And he was like, I mean, simple, Joe, the way they vote.
20,000 votes?
Yeah.
I'd like to come back at a different time, Joe, where I have a documents galore to show you.
But he turned his deflection of accepting election results, whether he won or lost, to talking about Kamala's low IQ. And
Low IQ woman, Joe.
Joe went to defend her and said, she's in her late 40s. It's just a lot being in the spotlight. And I was like, late 40s? She's 60.
I don't think Kamala Harris is 60.
I'm afraid she is.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't want a 40-year-old in there.
Well, no, but
That's like me. Oh, no, I'm even older.
she
than that.
would have taken it as a compliment. Maybe he was doing it on the sly. But people think they're informed. Joe doesn't know how old she is.
Okay. I also didn't know how old
Kamar,
she
Joe
was.
talks about the border that he lives 4 hours away from and refuses to go visit and see for himself. So, yeah, he is a victim. Listen, I realize that Joe is on the exact same internet I am. Joe sees the exact same shit I do. Joe reads the exact same bullshit I do. Joe is just as equally uninformed as I am, except in his mind, he's more informed because he has smart people on who discuss real shit. And I just talk to you two fucking nimwits.
Okay. I don't know how
mean,
that...
in
I don't know
all-
why
in all
your,
fairness.
your hatred for him had to end up on
It does
me.
feel like he's a little bit better informed. If he's having all these like legitimate people on and you're just talking to Tweedledee and Tweedledum over here.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
So it was cheaper to leave the equipment. That's an interesting...
Yeah, we fucking know.
we knew that?
It wasn't a breaking story. Why do you think they left the machinery there, Kamar? Because it was too expensive to bring back. That was always the narrative.
it's crazy that we believe
everything's
that.
too expensive. Thank you. Fuck, finally. I'm fighting for my life here. That's what they told you. The people
Kamar-
that lied to you about everything else, but they said this.
But this is what Trump's saying. So who's lying
No, Trump
here?
is saying that's what Lily said, the dumb general.
Kamar,
He said he really did not like those guys. And we've seen Millie, and I don't usually see the meme, sorry to cut you off, but it's sort of that thing. Did you ever see Generation Kill?
Yep.
And at the very end, there's this one general who's a hard as fucking rocks guy, and you find out that he's never been in battle. Nothing. That Millie guy has a chest.
I understand
like
what you're
this.
Yeah.
Like he.
So Trump was saying that they weren't there because it was too expensive to bring them back.
Well, maybe he.
He's saying that they left it there on purpose so that whoever could sweep in and pick them up and become another radical.
Well, I'm
group.
sure the military-industrial complex has always worked that way. Leave as much behind as you can so that we can arm the next group of militants so that in 15 or 20 years we get to come back here.
keep
and
a
spend
Well,
more
no,
money.
keep a fuse
First
smoldering.
they start working for you to fight in your next war, and then they go against you, and that's your next enemy.
I wanted to try to do the tally, but what if what they left there is bigger than our military?
It is for sure.
Well, I don't know if it's for sure, but probably is.
No, but if you did-
100%,
Kamar.
it's bigger than our military. You don't have to do
that's-
the math.
so-
Let me save you the time.
So that's crazy. It shows Canada has no pants.
We
right?
have like 25 jets, period, in the Canadian Armed Forces or whatever. I'm just making up a number. They must have left like hundreds of jets there, you know?
Kamar, you're doing this weird thing though. Like, I realize we're a big country. I bet if you looked at every country outside of China, Russia, the U.S., Germany,
Iran.
who knows?
Korea.
Iran has a huge army.
We don't. Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, like, as far as military equipment and armies, there's maybe like 8 countries on Earth.
If you look
No.
at all the other countries in NATO, the sub countries, None of us have spent money on our military. You know why? Because we pay into NATO to be
That's what
protected
it's
by
supposed
the
to be.
big boys.
And I'm not saying I want us to be armed, but it would go back with it. If everything was self-sufficient, that's more how it would have to be. It's reasonable to think we would focus mostly on navies for the coast.
Yeah.
That would be in on the West Coast and the East Coast.
100%. We'd have a solid Navy, Kamar, and you know what else we would do? We'd build a big fucking wall. Because we're not having those Americans just waltzing up into our Shangri-La.
I don't think walls work. The problem is
Build that wall.
The problem is with navies.
Build that wall. We should start a new build that wall.
Navies illustrate the
Yes.
military industrial complex to a T, because to have a navy, you need a factory to build a ship. The iron, like it's so big.
I mean, we have Boeing. They already build a lot of really big shit. I can't imagine it would be that big a stretch for them to start building.
You got to build a shipyard.
No,
That's a pretty
you
big
have to.
undertaking.
Well, we have like Halifax Harbor. We have
No, but you have
harbor
to.
cities.
You have to start from scratch in industry.
No, we're not starting now. This would have to been something we did all along.
Focused on that more.
Well, yeah, I
The
mean,
planes, especially with the threat of missiles.
well, what we'd really want to do is build some sort of like Iron Dome.
I think where I just couldn't go any further with Donnie was the landing in Iraq story. That being said,
Oh,
if
my
if
God.
it's true what he said that the
Worst story of all time.
I agree, and especially I leaned into it like
He blew that pilot, right?
anyways, that's
Yeah. Somebody got blown.
I'm-
I don't know
I'm
if it was
admitting-
the
Well,
pilot.
He just kept being like, Joe, I don't
The
know,
handsome
Joe, I don't know
man,
if you
Joe.
know this, but we have pilots on Air Force One. They fly the planes. Beautiful men, lovely men, most beautiful men you've ever seen. The glazing in this episode.
I
was
like how he
fucking
said
wild.
we have pilots on the plane, Joe. They fly the planes.
hey man, I'm with you guys all the way on this. Like I don't know what you want me to say.
Nothing. I wish this episode had never happened. I
Hold
wish
your
we could somehow
horses.
snap our
Hold your
fingers
horses.
Wait,
and
before
go
you-
back
calm down,
in
calm
time.
down.
Wait, can I ask you a question, Kumar? Did you I know you rated the week of force. You're obviously you. Outside of you being happy that Donald Trump is on the show and running, like, did you really find this episode to be like a good, informative episode?
If Simon often accuses the show of being not curated properly, and maybe it's just to his liking, but if I was able to take a step back in all points, and I'll point out with Luke Bryan, it's way better if you listen to twice speed.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Drawl
Just
makes
let
it
him
different.
finish.
That there was something for almost every single person on this podcast.
I have a better question for you then. If Kamala Harris were to come on next week and Joe were to treat the interview the same way, would be angry? Would you not?
No, I think she would stick her foot in her mouth just as much as he did with his Iraq story. He did with his running rampant with Barron. Like they would both be exposed for who they are. And
That's not- that
she
wasn't my
could
question.
I could
That's not my
like her
question.
more than whatever I think of her now.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that wasn't my question. My question is Joe's treatment of the guest. Like, when Kamala Harris comes on, you expect Joe to be on her, correct?
No, he's going to be a sycophant,
I
just
would not,
like this.
I would not expect that at all.
You think he's going to ask her the tough questions?
Well, like, you know what I was thinking
And
about?
I'm not trying to deflect what you're saying. I
No,
don't.
no. Okay, Kumar, I was only asking your opinion.
Sorry,
You can give me your opinion, and I can disagree with it or not. It's just an opinion. You're not right or wrong.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I just find it ironic. Think about this. He has arguably one of the most important presidential candidates of the last 30 years on his show, and it's just him and the Don shooting the shit. He brought Twitter on, and he had to bring Tim Pool, like a real investigative journal, on to ask the real hard-hitting questions. It just seems like
And Tim Pool is being paid by the Russians.
It's all coming full circle.
These are truths we're trying to forget about it.
Let me ask you a legitimate question, okay, Kamar? Give me an honest answer. You've watched Trump on all these other shows that he's been on lately.
Yes. No, clips. No one can watch it that much. I'm
No,
I'm
but
trying to meet you somewhere.
do you legitimately think that this episode was better than those episodes?
No, he talked too much. This is my end synopsis. Okay, so if Kumar, if you thought this podcast should end up at about 146, it was right after the Iraq story, dumb generals, North Korea and he started interviewing Joe, I was like, stop.
This whole thing. The whole thing was useless. Listen, I get it. If Joe has a guy on, like, let's just say, and this is something I like, but it doesn't have to be that way. Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
Like, he's breaking news on Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar hadn't been on anybody else's podcast. He didn't go on anybody else's podcast. So it was a big deal when Joe had Elon on. He hadn't been on anybody else's podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal. This isn't a big deal. Like, he had already been on 6 other podcasts, and he asked the same question.
You're so out of it, you don't know what you're talking about.
Boo and hiss to this episode.
Yeah, personal. That's a personal opinion.
Are you kidding? I just gave you a totally well thought out, accurate version of what the fuck is going on, and you can't even hear it because you have his fucking dick so far up your ass.
You're a fringe person. Guess how many views it has in 24 hours?
No, I know.
26 million.
28 million.
It's getting like 1 million
It's
hits.
bigger than Cat Williams. So when you say this isn't huge, you're like wrong.
Well, no, but hold on.
Huge. It's a big deal.
Yeah, but wait, you're doing...
It doesn't move the needle or mean anything, but it's huge.
But you're doing this weird thing where it's like, it's the meeting of two worlds. Like Joe... Anytime Joe has a massive guest like this on, the numbers do that. The first time Elon was on, the numbers, right? Cat less, but like on Shannon Sharp's show, for example.
By no means does this make Trump a good person or anything.
I know. I'm saying you're saying that. I agree with you,
Nor
Kumar.
does it make him the biggest superstar that's ever been on Joe Rogan. Like,
he is, I think.
I guess the question is this.
Who's bigger?
The question is this. Like, if Joe Biden went on Joe Rogan tomorrow, do you think it would have the same numbers? I think it'd be bigger.
I think it would have insane.
I think you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Well, this is what I wanted. This begs the question, is this a new norm? Will all presidents moving forward be doing Aiden Ross? Well, he's already done it. Exactly. To your point, he did Aiden Ross.
He did the Nelk Boys. He did Theo. He did Flagrant.
There's nothing special about this. But
there's nothing special about it.
It's got 28 million views. It's going to surpass the Cat Williams. For us, we don't care. I think this could sway a person, an American, who's just hated him and thought all the media lies. It's like, you know what? He's not that bad.
It probably could, which is another reason why I don't know, whatever.
Well, no, but
none of these politicians should be on any of these podcasts, and everybody should have just put their foot down and fucking... But I guess when you're getting paid, like,
the most
that's
glaring
what's
thing
happening.
is that Joe said he never would do this, but Joe also said he would never ever have ads midway through. Joe, we think that they're, because ever since you guys mentioned that Andrew Schulz made up possibly, or is a thing that he made up the bidding war, buying special off, and that he may have, because of the Trump thing, just because of it, trumped it up and said we got canceled. There was never a place booked or whatever, and everything gets behind him and supports it. And we're fools for buying into it, then have feelings about it.
Well, I think we just, listening to podcasts, we felt really close to the hosts, right? We never were. They're always behind the fucking walls plotting, and you know what I mean? They're running businesses. Like, of course they're making decisions that are best for their business.
No, but the problem is that, like, let's say you listen to Joe from the beginning, it wasn't that way. In fact, most podcasts, depending on when the podcast was started, most podcasts were started as like a labor of love, and there was never a thought of making money. It's only in the last 5-6 years that podcasting has really become what it's become. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I do. But
so I think a lot of those, but you were saying, like, we always thought we knew them, and you did in a way. Like, if you were one of the first, like if you watched that Christmas episode that Joe and Bryan did, the very first one, you probably feel a way about the show. You feel like, I was one of those first 20,000. I've been here from the beginning.
Well, fine. So fair enough. So you knew him,
and now you
12 years ago. And in those 12 years, he's changed drastically.
Yeah, and he's created a business that is now a monster and a machine. And if you expected to say the same, you're fucking crazy.
That's right.
There's corporate lawyers involved,
right,
and there's all sorts, like,
It's impossible.
There's levels to this
you
shit.
can't sign $250 million deal without some fucking lawyers and greasy assholes getting in there.
team.
It's impossible. I give it a 2.
Yeah, I mean, I also give it a 2.
And I truly
Oh,
believe...
no, I'm not done. I'm not done. Sorry. So, 1 hour 46, Don turns around, starts talking to him about the fight game. He mentioned the reason why he likes golf is because it's a good sport where you can give a person the handicap, which all my life I always felt like a poser because I couldn't think about get my hand around handicap because it sounds like a pejorative, but
You can do it in basketball.
it is done in everything.
Yeah.
That's what betting is.
Yeah.
But in golf, you could, if you know the guy's bad, give him 20 strokes, and now we're still playing, and it's a competition, so it's a good way to do that. I guess you could do it in basketball, but if
Oh, no,
someone,
you're right. The spread was created so that gamblers, because like the book wasn't making any money because most lines were like minus 500. No one wants to bet that.
And I imagine in golf, it's like you're paired up with so many random people that this was a way that, even if
ground.
I'm playing you and I'm, justifiably a 15-stroke better player than you, then we could still have fun.
that made sense to me. Then they bashed the media a lot. RFK on health.
Fake news, Joe.
Would you guys think if you're an American, you should be excited about that?
About?
RFK being involved in the administration with all the health
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm gonna
on the,
believe
on the
all of
heels
that when I see
on the
it.
heels of the means the husband, wife,
He'll
brother,
fire- dude, you
brother,
don't-
sister that
Trump gets rid of him 3 months in.
Elon too. Elon's supposed to be the czar of like redundancy. Cut, chop.
What?
Elon has said for every regulations you put, you should take 5 away that are now redundant or whatever, think in those ways. And he would go and take out redundancies, much like he did at Twitter. And that could be crazy painful. And if it hurt a certain people, they could make it seem like it's a really bad thing. But it's at some point, how about this? At some point,
It's when you start calling fact checkers redundant. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what he did at Twitter.
you think so? Don't you think he gave them credibility? Because the one thing I'll notice on Twitter or X is that every post that is like, there's a note about it, like an add-on, or there isn't when it's.
I guess I just don't believe for 1 second that Elon Musk bought Twitter as a bastion of free speech.
No, that's-
I think he bought Twitter because he wanted to have his platform. Like the money meant nothing to him, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yes and no.
He
Yes
pretty
and
much
no.
bought like a $23 billion soapbox.
Kamar, listen. If you had made $100 billion in your life and you had like no social media following and you were just a quiet billionaire and you were like, I don't like what I'm seeing on Twitter. I really care about free speech. I'm going to buy it. And then you bought it and you quietly fixed it and no one knew who the fuck you were that you did it. I would agree.
You're Jack Dorsey.
No, I'm not talking about Jack Dorsey. What I'm saying though is at the time when he bought it, who do you think had the most followers on Twitter?
Donald Trump. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Elon Musk. So I'm just saying, like, he bought the thing where he was the most followed person, and we're supposed to believe that he did it. This guy doesn't give a fuck about free
We're
speech.
supposed to believe that despite that, he went into the company and cut out a whole bunch of waste.
No, he did that because he bought a business and wanted to make money.
Yes.
That it has nothing to do with doing good.
And so if he were the czar of redundancies in the government, he's going to go in there and make it so the government makes money. I don't know if the government can make money.
maybe.
But it's more efficient. If he's a systems guy.
Or he's going to go in and get rid of the things that are stopping him from making a lot
and it'll
of
ruin
money.
our lives and we'll be slaves to the overlords. Yeah.
Like, doesn't this
It
seem
could go
like a
many ways.
conflict of interest to anybody?
Let me ask you a question. How does a government make money, Kamar?
By bonds, treasury bills, loans to other countries. The interest on that. Otherwise, it's all just revenue of taxpayers.
How do countries make money?
Tariffs.
They
Simon.
sell things.
Tariffs.
What do we sell? What does our
government
government
don't
sell?
sell
Well,
shit.
Canada sells hydro. We sell wood. We sell all
Hold
sorts
on.
of shit.
That's
The
provincial.
government doesn't. The federal government doesn't sell
This,
hydro.
this is interesting because when you have these conversations, you have to establish what level of government's in
what
charge
do you
of it.
mean? Oh, the federal government doesn't. That's
Even-
provincial.
I bet you the
Well,
federal
even then, the
government
provincial
gives
government-
money
hold
to
on.
hydro to run.
The
Probably.
provincial government doesn't do it either. Hydro, like the Quebec Hydro that sells their hydro to New York State.
It's a private
It's
company.
a private company. That has nothing to do with the
Just
government.
call Quebec Hydro.
But they have to run their lines over a lot of.
No, so they're probably paying,
Public
they're probably
lands,
paying
I imagine.
money.
Yeah, and I'm sure they've done something that I'm sure. Listen, the
Rents.
government can't do this thing where it's like you can't run lines over public land. They provide the power for the country, so there has to be a give and take there, right? The government has to say you have, you know. But again, I asked because this week I asked myself this. I said, how does a country make money?
No, so how does a country make money? I assume legitimately it's by taking over other countries. No, I'm being serious because when you acquire land, you acquire everything that comes along with
The
that
resources,
land.
sure.
Here,
Yeah.
if you want a country to make money, in air quotes, they're going to have to build something to sell, or you know what I mean, or grow something or make whatever to then sell to somebody else. That's how you make money.
I mean, if you think about it, if we still had crown corporations,
Maybe they invest, Matt. Countries could invest.
Yep, they
That's
do.
a good way to make money, right? No, I'm being a stupid.
we have to have. If you're running you can't I am always in the deficit, so
And
I
we
can't
still
invest.
bet. No, but we still bet.
That's,
so
okay,
you know
sure,
what
but
I
that's
mean?
why I'm in the negative all the time.
Well, but the country's saying the same thing. You know what I mean? Like one of
I don't
these
know.
times I'm going to hit and it's going to negate all the losses.
No, but it's,
No, but what I said is true, right? Like they have to make something to sell. Otherwise,
No, because I was thinking about it. Like I read this very interesting thing. This guy on Reddit he's obviously very wealthy, and he was like, I read that my section of the debt is $36,000 or whatever it is,
okay.
and he was like, I'm wondering if I can just pay that so that I feel guilt free about it.
Well, and then you don't have to pay tax anymore. If you just pay off your $36,000 or whatever it is.
Well, no. So then I know you didn't listen to it. I know neither of you did because you told me you didn't. I listened to the Sam Cedar thing on Patrick Bet David, and I'll give it to Sam Cedar, whether you like him or not. It takes a lot of balls to go in there and sit with those three, knowing that they're going to gang up on you and that they're going to laugh at your opinions. But Sam Cedar was like, I think that if you make over $3 million, the tax rate should be 90%. And he was like, he goes back to the 50s where that's what they had it at. Marginal tax rate was 90%. So if you made everything you made, keep in mind, Simon, everything you made below 3 million was taxed at like a normal rate, but every dollar you made after 3 million was taxed at this 90% rate.
Could I tell you how we could also do it, Matt? And this is
Well, you didn't let me finish though.
Oh,
but I was
sorry.
just saying, like, let's say your country's so in debt like the US. If you did start taxing like that, first of all, you're only affecting 0.5% of the population because that's how many people make over $3 million a year. So you're going to hear Kamar defend this and be like, you can't do that. It's crazy to hear someone that makes as much money as we do defending
it's
someone
nuts.
who's having a yacht war with someone else,
Yeah.
right? It's fucking bananas.
yeah.
So it only affects them. Use that money to pay off your debt. Become a debt-free country. And then become great again through that. Like, that's the first thing they should do. They should, and again, all you're saying is, like, think about it like this. Why not go to all of the arms dealers, all the arms makers, and say, guess what, gang? You guys like killing people, and you like that we're always at war. We're taxing the shit out of you. So you go to every American. You say to every American, you can divest in these companies right now. We're going to take them over, which is bad because the government can't do anything right. But think about it. You then, all the money made from arms, you pay off your own debt with. Why not? Why are, like, I heard, so like Patrick Bet David's whole point is he was like, the top 40% of earners, or the top, like, whatever, 1% of earners pay 40% of the income tax in the States. And I was like, yeah.
What I was going to say was if you, and I think Bernie said this, if you do what you're saying and tax at 90% everything over a certain amount, I don't think anybody has to pay taxes below that number.
Probably not.
Because it's going to cover everybody and then some. You're still going to pay off your debt and then some. And that's the way I guess it should be. You know what I mean? Like, until you make $1 million, why are you paying so much fucking money to the government?
And again, you're really, like, think about what I just said. You're affecting such a small percent of the population.
This is
it's
what I mean.
crazy. Think about it. You can't get 99% of people on board for something that will help them and only affect the 1% that want you to vote against it. Isn't it so odd?
It can't happen because the same person who...
They control the media and everything else. So, of course.
Well, and like Donald Trump, who's supposed to be like a bastion for the people... That's not what he wants. You know what I mean? So in order to vote for him, you have to vote against the thing you know to be right.
And this is the problem, is Donald Trump is a lot like Ronald.
It's the two-party system.
He's a lot like Ronald Reagan, where Ronald Reagan specifically was like, this tax is terrible. And he used an example where he was like, I could have made 5 films a year, but because of this tax, I only chose to make 3 films a year. And that was the thing he used is why, who would,
Fuck you.
his whole thing was, why would you work harder? Why would you work to make more than 3 million if you know that you're just going to give? Now, I got to say this. This is very important.
I don't know, because you love acting.
This is super important. If we don't trust the government or how it's spending money, then this doesn't work anyway.
Right. Yeah. You have to have a government who you agree where the money's going to be spent.
If you right away go transparent government, we know where all the money's going and we all agree with it to a certain degree, right? We're never all going to agree. But if we can create that system where we all trust the government and they're transparent, I don't think anyone has a problem with that tax. But because we know that the government is fucking disgusting and that they're stealing from us, we can't do this.
This is where we are at, just for the bare numbers in Canada. Total liabilities, the Canadian government is $1.8 trillion.
Okay, but liabilities, okay, go ahead.
That's how much we got out there. How much we have in financial assets, our government is $603 billion. In non-financial assets, it's $103 billion. Financial assets are cash, bank accounts, treasury bills, bonds, securities that represent ownership of debt, receivables, money owed to the government, such as taxes receivable. That's how it makes money. Taxes is a big one. Or loans given to other entities. So we do invest. We invest in a company or whatever, and then they pay rent and taxes to run their car factory for 20 years.
The United States is way, and maybe we can end after this because we've given him so much time. But
I'm just giving his breath for the other 5.
the the U.S. is too far gone. It's too big a fucking thing. Canada seems to me like it is a small enough populated place that they could try and do something different here.
I think, as I've said
would agree.
before, ad nauseum, because we can't fix Haiti or the Middle East with nobody. Like there's something wrong with all of us.
Yeah, but hold on.
What do you mean
just America.
fix? That's not their job to fix
Fix what?
the Middle East.
Also, what do you
Oh
mean?
no, but they can't fix themselves. No one can fix themselves.
No, I'm. You know what? It doesn't.
Oh
matter.
no, the last one was immigration, election integrity, and then finally the last 5 minutes, JFK and aliens.
Imagine going that whole fucking time, Joe, a guy who's obsessed with aliens and JFK and waits to the last 5 minutes after talking about fucking Khabib and all this bullshit
No, where I'll meet
to
you guys
ask that question.
past halfway is he had to ask him if he thought they went to the moon.
Yeah.
Or that was off Joe's question sheet.
There were so
That's the
many
only one.
things he could have
That's
asked.
the only one.
Well, I think, hold on. You know what? Let's give Joe some credit. We didn't even touch on the fact that there might have been like a clear list of like, we're not talking about this.
Yeah, no.
We're not talking about that.
I
That
think-
is,
I know there is.
yeah, there's no
I've-
way a presidential candidate went on the show and was like, you can just open season, rapid fire, any question at me you want. There's no,
No,
fucking
but I've heard
way.
him talk about JFK on other shows.
Yeah, and you heard him deflect, right?
But if you're
I mean,
asking
he
me,
thinks there's shenanigans for sure.
do you think that Trump is really sharp and just dance his way around the studio and what a podcast? No. Do I still like him? Yes.
No, and that's not, come on.
I give him a 4 because like it just got annoying, but 3 hours is too long.
Trump did what he was supposed to
Historical.
do. Go in there, steamroll over the conversation,
Yeah.
take it in 1,000 different
He didn't say a
directions.
word. He didn't say a
so
thing.
You can't get yourself in
Maybe the
trouble.
worst of all his appearances on all the
It was probably the safest of all the appearances you'll see of Donald Trump. He didn't do any slamming of anybody. He didn't slam anybody.
Slam Kamala, low IQ woman.
The worst he said was Kamala, low IQ woman, and Joe, you're not a Kamala person.
I feel Joe
I
defended
know
her.
you.
I feel Joe defended her.
You know what I mean? Like he didn't come on and say like fucking goofy Joe Biden or
He also said he's been watching him for years, which it seems like Americans have a extra period of time that they can watch all the TV. Because any American knows all the shows and all the things.
No, they're all full of shit.
You don't feel that way? I feel
I don't think he actually watches Joe.
there's internet, there's Netflix we don't get. Like it's gonna come up with
You don't have a VPN? There is no Netflix you don't get.
You have a VPN?
Yeah, everyone has a VPN. You can watch everything on Netflix.
I don't have a VPN.
Well, you can watch everything on
Well-
Netflix with a VPN.
We'll be right back.
They even advertise it on the VPN. They're like, you can watch any Netflix.
I give it 4.
I give it a 2.
I
You also gave it a 2. Yeah.
And let's just do Luke Combs real quick. And
I think it's Luke Bryan, isn't it?
well, either way, I'm pissed off at this guy. We're team chicken fry over here.
Oh,
So
this is
fuck
this
this.
is
So
chicken
fuck
fried.
Zach
this
Bryan
guy.
was on this show, but this is Luke Bryan.
Yeah, I know, and I was so pissed off. I was like, we're gonna get some tea, and then nothing. Nothing.
What if
just
she goes on
hunt
Joe
and talk.
Rogan and fucks him just to get back at Zach?
Oh fuck.
Because she's out. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't care.
Zach Bryan
I'm
was on.
40. You guys are older than me, and neither of you should care about this. Brianna Chicken Fry.
This is what the listen.
I said that, and Simon said the exact same thing
Yeah,
to
I
me.
did, and then I started watching Brianna Chicken Fry, and
Now we're
now
here.
I'm Team Chicken Fry.
She was dating Zach Bryan.
Now look at me. I'm Team Chicken Fry.
She's on a podcast with Portnoy. Just side note.
Yeah, I think I was aware of that. Yeah.
And then, yeah, she was dating this Luke Combs guy who I thought was coming on the podcast.
Yep.
Not so.
No.
They broke up. Luke Combs announced it on his Instagram.
Okay. That
So
they had
she
broken up.
Yeah, she had no idea.
You say Luke Combs?
Did I say Luke Combs?
You can't tell a story. There's only two people in this: Brianna Chicken Fry and Zach Bryan. Zach Bryan was on, blew up, dating her. They
Who's
broke
Luke
up.
Combs?
Luke Combs has also been on the show, controversially saying "fast car." Everyone got mad at him. Then he
Is
did it
this
with-
this guy?
Nope.
Who's this guy?
This is Luke Bryan, brand new country star.
So who's the Chicken Fry guy?
Zach Bryan?
Zach Bryan, Luke Combs.
I knew Simon wasn't getting it. I was like,
But hold on, I'm right though. Zach Bryan,
No relation to Luke, who was on the show.
who was on the show,
Yeah.
gets a 1.25, is not dating Brianna Chicken Fry. That is Zach Bryan.
Brian.
That's Bryan. Zach
Oh,
Bryan.
he's like camel toe harassing him.
No, I'm not. I'm really
embarrassing.
not. I'm really not. We have it all figured out now. Though.
Do
It's
we?
all good. Yes. Well, do you?
I don't know.
Brianna Chicken Fry was dating Zach Bryan.
Okay.
This is Zach Bryant.
Nope.
Well, now I'm confused.
Who's this guy, Kamar?
Who's
Luke
this guy?
Bryan.
This is Luke Bryan, asshole.
sir.
So there's only one Zach. And
no,
two
no,
Lukes.
no, there's a couple Zachs. But there's only one Zach Bryan.
This is the whitest conversation ever. How many Zachs and Lukes do we have here?
All right. So do you have anything to say about this guy? Because this episode stunk.
Luke Bryan's younger than me.
Stunk.
Luke Bryan's younger than me.
This guy is younger than you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he feels like he's
76.
Like, yeah. It's the accent, dude. I always assume that people who have that accent are old.
Yeah. And British people.
And British people, yeah, agreed.
You really do have to go to Las Vegas on the cheap when you're 21.
Never done it, never been there.
You can't. You're not 21 anymore. But I'm saying, oh my God. You got to know no better. Do you hear me, Simon? Hear what I said, Simon? You got to know no better.
Is that St. Brown? Or whatever his name is? No.
You got to know no better to be able to go to Las Vegas,
Yeah.
$300 in your pocket.
You gotta
and have a
be-
good
yeah,
time.
yeah.
If me go there with
If you
$300
know-
in your pocket,
if you know better.
miserable. And as he said, we would.
We can't even get into the buffet we want with 300
We're
bucks.
staying in the fucking room.
Yeah.
Paying too much for a burger.
I'm
lying
watching the
away.
best TV I've ever watched because I assume Vegas TV kicks
Maybe even
ass.
take a tub.
You guys act like you don't know how to fucking gamble. Well, no, neither of you do know how to
Dude,
gamble.
with
Well, you can't win it in your room.
No, you can't.
fuck you, douchebag.
No, Simon, with $300, the way you play poker, you would be fine. I'm telling you. You would go to Vegas with $300. You would sit at a 1-2 table.
That's
And,
not-
and when we leave Vegas, you'd be like, Simon, bringing $300 to Vegas was ridiculous. What do you think was going to happen?
No, I guarantee you, Simon is a very disciplined. Simon can sit and not play hands.
I could make money at poker. But we're talking about we're not talking about gambling. We are talking about gambling.
They
as
were
part of
talking
it.
about gambling.
But I want to go to Vegas. I want to do it all. You know what I mean? I don't want to go there and pinch pennies. Who wants to do that? Fuck.
I got bad news for you,
People
pal.
do. People do. In Matt's defense.
I'm not
Since
saying they
Matt's in
don't.
the hot seat here.
Well, I'm the only one that's been. Yeah, neither of you have any fucking clue what Vegas is like.
It's like I said when my my mom and my aunt went to PI for the first time at whatever the age they are. I think they're 50.
Have you ever been to PI?
Yeah. I used to go every summer.
This guy's the man. Anyways, they went there, and I said, well, was there any part of you that said, I wish I'd come here 20 years ago?
No.
I asked that.
Yeah.
And my mom said no, and my aunt said, yeah.
Oh,
It
no.
was really that nice. And the same thing for Vegas. I think I would have so much, unless I was able to sort of go with support or whatever it was, able to enjoy myself. If I was just going to sightseeing with $300, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
What have I done with my life?
What have I done?
Like any other time, why did I come here last year? Do you know what I mean? Because you feel I'll never be here again. The older you get, the way you go. In any event,
I think you're forgetting though. Like Vegas is the kind of place where you
so much to do. There's so much to do. I know.
Not only that, you can listen. You sit at a fucking 5 cent slot machine. They'll just keep bringing you drinks.
At this point, I would have fun, the same fun I have in Vegas if I went to Nashville for the first time, if I went to New Orleans for the first time, whatever. I'd like to go anywhere.
If we went to the casino in Gatineau.
For the first
for
time.
the first time.
It's not, whatever.
It's not. But any new casino that we haven't got to, we're buying.
Nice.
One thing he said is the thing that gambling is.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. You force yourself to have that anxiety.
That's the thrill.
Yes, but just as you smoke the joint to you get drunk to you shoot up to it's another drug that you and the problem with having too much money is
Yeah, the thing
you
about
need a bigger hit.
the thing
to
about
feel that.
the thing about gambling though is like you smoke the joint to get high, and like you know you're like, oh, okay, I feel the edge is gone, and like it's a replicatable thing. There's no drug that you can do that will pay your rent. Like no one's ever shot up heroin and been like,
Or take your rent.
sick.
But our
No,
drug will take your rent.
No, but that's the thing. Every drug will take your rent.
Because gambling is the ultimate. Like you're either just edging and then you
Yeah.
lose, or you come and you win.
Some hookers need to take the drug to be able to get fucked to make the money.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just as a
Yeah. Hey, listen, I need to get high if I'm going to sit at a roulette table for an hour for sure.
Joe's living the good life. He goes to Georgia, Texas for the first quarter, make an appearance, and then I'm going to go over to Formula One to see Eminem sell out to fucking perform.
But he's just a regular guy like you and
No,
me.
he's not.
Yeah,
We know he's
average
not.
Joe.
The interesting thing, though, and it was a very diplomatic of Luke, because he's from Georgia. Luke.
This is Luke.
Joe told him to face, I shot a cannon through your religion's flag. And he had to sit there like, oh God.
What was his religion?
Georgia, as a fan, as a super fan, like, all those Roll Tide, whatever you support, like
Roll Tide.
it's a rivalry. And Joe was on Texas side and he shot a cannon through the flag in the first quarter on the behalf of Texas. And Luke had to be like, on you, man.
Yeah. Normal times.
Walk
Any
out-
other
walk out the
podcast,
studio.
he fights Joe on the spot.
Headphones are off. Have a good night. Sir.
If he was a real cowboy,
Yeah.
like we know he's not,
Yeah,
but
we're
if
gonna
he
have to
was
throw
a
down
real
right now,
cowboy,
right
he
here on
would
the
have fought
spot,
Joe
yeah.
on the spot. That's like someone calling you a goof in prison.
Oops ago.
He had a couple good South sayings. I think it's a good idea. Well, not in our culture, obviously, but to teach kids how to hunt. Like, it's not crazy. I don't think it's irresponsible if you do it in a responsible
And
way.
if, just by the way, Matt,
Yeah.
if he lets one podcaster, in on something like that, everybody's going to be fucking cucking him.
Yeah.
who ate
whatever.
who ate the
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you laugh at all of my
No,
jokes?
it was just a conversation. No problem.
guy who ate the first oyster? I think that's someone should do that.
Who ate the first oyster?
Well, no, I mean, there's a whole thing of
Oysters are
everything. That's how the hell did you guys start eating this?
oysters are
Pussy.
hilarious to me because they're disgusting.
Yeah.
Nobody really likes eating them, but everybody's made it such like a hoity-toity.
No,
like,
no.
I'm super cool if
No, they're
I
super
eat.
good for you. It's super good for you. Super good for you.
Okay, Kumar.
So that's
that's why you do
there's
it. That's why you're eating oysters because you're like, brain food.
Oh no, I eat oysters to be seen eating
yeah,
oysters.
exactly. They're disgusting. You don't even taste them. You just like slurp them down
Okay,
your throat.
so-
They're disgusting.
You're like actively trying not to taste them.
Yeah. I don't want to throw up with this thing in my
So what are we wasting our time with? Just get
Oysters
rid
is
of them.
one example.
Yeah,
Great
what's another?
example.
The snails.
Truffles.
Truffles are disgusting.
But how they okay, all these things people do eat. Again, you're like, no one likes this. I don't like this. Lots of people like it because there's a fucking industry.
That's
They
true,
make truffle oil. There's truffle. Anyways, I digress.
All I'm
pigs.
pointing out, Kamar, is that people eat oysters not because they like them.
Well, all I'm pointing out, Simon, is that one day in history, one guy didn't know he was showing off and ate one.
Yeah.
Or he had all these oysters and had to get rid of them. So he started shucking and just having a great time. And it was like, what are you doing over there? It's like, hey, it's oysters. You should try it.
Remember, like lobsters used to be the peasants' food. There were so many of them. They came out of the sea. It was easy to get.
Disgusting.
Now all of a sudden people love it so much. It's disgusting. Like, do you guys eat lobster?
No.
Cheese. Milk. I know the milk of the animal because it.
And what's wrong
milk-
with the cheese? Because it's mold?
No, nothing. I'm taking this all back because a human being would breastfeed. They experience milk
Yeah.
there.
Milk
It
is
begs
so
that,
normal.
Goat's cheese, all that
Milk
stuff.
is like the most normal thing. Without milk, you're dead.
I mean, another animal's milk is a weird thing.
What about the cashew?
Well, just by the logic, if you like this milk, why wouldn't you like that milk?
Do you eat pussy?
Okay, so that means I like oysters?
No. Does that?
You
Would you
eat
eat? Would you
pussy.
eat an elephant's pussy?
Okay, that is so stupid. That
Why?
is-
It's the exact one
it's-
milk is from a different.
No.
What do you
That's
mean?
not-
No.
First
let me
of all,
ask-
you don't eat pussy for nourishment.
Okay, fine. If
You
I
eat
could
it for
milk-
Yeah,
If I
you do. If you don't eat the pussy, you're gonna starve.
If I could milk a sloth, would you drink its milk?
If it was good milk, I would.
A rat,
Yeah, rat milk, Simon.
cheetah.
Again, we make it bad, but if it was a normal thing, milk is milk. It probably isn't good. That's why we don't drink it.
But cow's milk is not good.
Cow's milk is great. What are you talking
disgusting.
about? Okay, you're nuts. What do you drink? Soy milk?
I don't drink milk
all
at all.
organs just make sense because we're eating the meat. Miles eat the heart, mine eat the liver. That's not crazy.
I wonder if there's like a correlation between people who weren't breastfed and people who don't like milk.
I was breastfed.
And I don't like milk.
You mming. What a fucking weirdo.
Maybe.
And let me tell you, I was breastfed at a full bar.
I was breastfeeding when I was 4.
If you eat a possum, you is hungry. I thought that was one of the quotes of the episode. You don't think about a possum seems like a cute little animal, but it's a
No, they're
Oh,
vicious
wait
and
a
terrible.
second. A possum is the most disgusting. Have you
Yeah.
never seen a possum? No. Okay, because they are not a cute little animal.
What about a mole?
Their faces look like they're like skinless and
They're gross.
got fangs
Yeah.
and their tails are disgusting.
Fucking terrible
Nothing is
animal.
cute about a
Don't
possum.
fuck with an armadillo. He would hunt squirrels regularly and eat them. Is that something we're missing out on? We'll be right
That's a
back.
thing in the South, isn't it, though? Squirrel pelts.
Well, it is a weird thing, though, what Joe said, that like we see a squirrel, no problem. That cute little squirrel, he just ran up that tree. You see a rat and you freak out. Like the only thing
furry
separating
tail.
those two is like, well, no,
Paradox.
they got a little more fur on them. They're a little like less ratty looking. But like,
Squirrels also never carried the plague. I think that's still like a.
just feel like that's big plague. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Putting that on the
Yeah.
rats.
The rats have bad PR. They need a better. They need
Just-
like Fievel to come out and be like, "We're
They
great."
were just trying to divert attention from
Yeah.
the fact that they fucked up
Do you guys have any
with the polio vaccine. No, I'm telling you.
any guesses how much Luke Bryan is worth?
What Bryan are we talking about here?
Luke.
I am your father.
This one?
Yeah.
Or the one who's married to or was dating Chicken Fry?
I'm going to say he's
Stop
worth
being difficult.
$28 million.
I would say more than that. I would say
I don't think he's been around that long.
$56 million.
You guys are both wrong. He's been around since 2000, and he's a judge on American Idol. So
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
And how many years has he been doing that? He said like
4 years
So
or something.
more
Oh,
than
only
50,
four, okay.
156.
Worth 140 million.
Oh my!
I think I would have liked a little more about the American Idol gig or whatever, but they're really pro hunting and stuff.
Yeah, talk
is-
about something interesting.
He's
This
living
episode sucked.
the greatest life, though. He lives on 150 acres.
Yeah.
He works on stocking his pond, having his deer. Would you do that if you had the means? Do you
Yes,
think?
come on. Would I be rich if I
yes,
had the
I'd
means?
have,
No,
I'd
no,
have
that way.
6 lakes. I'd put female bass in all of them.
And
like-
you name
but
your
we
say-
can't give this guy another second.
And you would say, Dutton Ranch, nothing to do with Yellowstone on your barn.
Come on, I
I'd
was
call
saying-
it Kevin Costner Ranch.
I was saying to Danny last night, I was like, if I had that kind of money, I would buy so many acres.
I'd
and
buy you a lake and you a lake
No,
and you a lake.
I said, I was like, I would build a massive horseshoe with like 15 5-bedroom houses on it, all made like to the same specs, beautiful homes. And I'd just give one to each of my friends so we all live in the same fucking compound.
By the way, Danny, you're not getting a house.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
No, but bands break up. It sounds great. Someone would have to be like, hey, everything's on the house, but also to be on charge. And then
Well, that's what Matt wants. He wants everyone under
send
his,
your wife
his
over.
rich thumb.
I want to tell her how to take care of you.
No, I would just, the only stipulation would be you don't own the house. You can't just sell it so that some asshole moves into our compound. That'd be the only stipulation. I still own the house. But
What
how
could
sick
go
would that
wrong?
be? All your fucking
No, I'm
friends?
in, I'm in.
Oh, no, you're not in. Trust me.
Yeah.
You
Again,
are not in the 15.
You weren't getting
pal.
one
Yeah.
of the 15 houses.
I got bad news
Could
for
I
you.
park a bus?
Yes. Yes.
Borrow some electricity.
You could live on my lawn.
Oh, you know what I'd do? I'd build a giant Walmart parking lot for Kamar and such to bring RVs in and just like
Behind a wall.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Okay, we're done.
Couple more points.
No, you don't get any more
Have
points.
you ever caught a pike?
No.
I have told my story many times about reeling
Have
in.
you seen a pike?
Look, he won't even listen to
Because
my
he knows
fucking
your answer is
story.
no. It's a long-winded
okay,
no.
You want me to get through this, and so you say yes. I've seen a pike, so I can.
I've
finish.
almost caught a pike.
That's a no.
You saw it though.
I saw it. It grabbed onto the fish I
Matt,
was reeling in.
This fish it's
I know.
mountainous.
I know how big it
You've
is.
seen one.
I have the internet.
Okay.
I have a television.
This fucking guy.
Those are in all the waters we swim in willy nilly.
Yeah.
And you,
Why are you
Willy-nilly.
treating me like
And you know
Encino
what they're
Man
not
right now?
interested in, Kamar? You
Yes.
at all.
Good point.
Because you're way too big.
lastly,
They're not fucking barracudas out there just biting things willy nilly.
Luke's mother. I thought this was weird. Smokes
Can I
4
just
packs of Salem a day.
1 second. What's even scarier than that, Kamar, is that there are like 12 and 15-foot sturgeons in the rivers.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
That's mental. Those things also don't want anything to do with you, but they're fucking massive. Go ahead. Yeah, all the cigarettes and the beer.
4 packs of Salem's a day. 75 years old.
Love when I hear
Going
a story
strong.
like
I know
that.
you do.
Yeah,
that
I
was
do
for
too.
you.
Love when I hear a story like that.
I don't love when Luke says, and so I had to tell my mom, like, that's going to add up. You better
Yeah.
meet somebody with $140 million. I guess in the South,
Yeah, every man for himself.
Sorry, Ma.
Like, I realize you gave birth to me, Ma, but you're on your own
Every
with,
man
with
for
this snack habit.
every man for himself.
I left you a pallet of Miller Lite.
Yeah. And 3 cartons of cigarettes and you went through them already? Well, you're on your own since Daddy died.
I like his song "Country Girl, Shake It For Me, Bro." And
No, we're done. We're done.
well, he's bro country. He got ostracized from country music. I give it a 3.
Anything called bro country, imagine you were part of a genre called bro country.
I give it a 1. This episode.
Yeah, I give this a
fucking
fucking
stank.
0.75. This was
episode
terrible.
stank.
If it had been Luke Bryant, it would have been a 5.
Zach.
He's saying
whatever.
if it was. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, he is still wrong. Yeah, I don't care about any of them or
Yeah,
chicken fry.
we'll be right back.
We're gonna take a break. We're gonna pay
Thank
a
you to
bill,
Patreon.
and we'll be right back.
And we're back. I'm sorry. You want to do it?
No,
you
no,
can do
no.
it.
I love that you do it. I love that you're getting involved in the show,
think-
Simon.
I
It's
think
great.
that-
It's
I
great.
think that it
great.
bothers you, but it's partially why I do it. So we're back. And Sam Tripoli, number
2218.
2218, the only saving grace of this pathetic week. Let's do it. Let's get some, as the kids say.
Let's go out there and get some.
I'm sorry. Dude, him yelling apologies.
sorry.
Joe Biden yelling apologies is fucking hilarious. I want to make that my ringtone. I'm sorry. I think he forgets where he is sometimes.
He's got dementia.
But don't you think it's strange that he's in charge? That we just, hey,
He's not, Kamar, he's not in charge. If there was any sort of nuclear war, his wife has his finger on the button, her finger on the
Has his no? I like it
Oh,
better.
his-
It's better.
yeah.
She's got it.
button. It's attached with a piece of dental floss and she's just pulling it up and down.
No, because you know how it's got like it's probably got a thumbprint thing, right?
Yeah,
So she's
you know
gotta,
what?
like-
Now that I think about it, Joe Biden is like the human form of one of those drinking birds.
yeah, the back and forth, one of those birds.
If I was a good artist, I would draw that.
you are a good artist.
You are a
We will
good
draw
artist.
that. But isn't it a scam that they're saying, yeah, no, he's fine. He's a president. He's running the country and on the election.
Nobody's saying
it's
that.
not right.
Nobody's saying that. Everybody thinks
something wrong about
Kamala's
it.
already the president.
I can't see what it is, but I know it's not good.
Anyways, back to Sam Tripoli. Let's not get stuck into more.
I mean,
fucking
Kamar, I don't know
political
that they're anymore saying that he's good, but I get that what you're saying. Like, if they're still toting him around like a fucking, that's bad
Weekend at
enough.
Bernie's.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
What choice do they have?
Well,
That
you
you
could
want them
Be
to
adults.
do
Rip off the Band-Aid.
a
like,
no competence
whatever
vote
the drastic
at this
measure
point?
is once in
It's-
our life.
They're about to in like 7 days. They're about to have an election.
It costs too much money. That's what it is, right?
Well, and it's mass confusion. You're going to put another person in there who's not actually running for president.
What do you mean? It's Kamala.
Oh no, it's
who's in.
Kamala.
Yeah.
So what fucking difference does it
World
make?
of lies.
It's almost like they would rather that, Kamar. If she's acting president, running for president, that's like, oh my God, that is Vice. Or that is Veep. That's exactly what happened on Veep. That's so crazy.
It's not.
It's so
almost
crazy.
disturbing.
It's so fucked up. That show is like crystal ball shit. Anyways,
You would be the person to.
yes, I know so much
expert on
about
that.
television.
They started talking about the government having propaganda and also the government's ability to use force on its own citizens. And by the end of it, Jamie had fact checked that, and it's always been around.
It doesn't make it better.
How vulnerable are we with our phones? Do you think your phone is a danger to you?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. It doesn't make it better, Matt, but I think like this idea of freedom, this illusion of freedom that these Americans run around with needs to be curb stomped a little bit. You know what I mean?
By their own government?
None of us are free. None of us are free.
We know we told you guys you're free, but I think we need
It's all just the illusion of freedom. We still are fucking, I mean, maybe Joe Rogan is free.
I think the 1% are the freest amongst us.
Yeah. But
I would agree with
the
that.
The rest of us, not free. Not free.
I've said it many times.
But we're not Americans, but we're not free either. That's the point. Like we live under that illusion.
The thing is to get in the psyche of like 10 people on a scale of what you have or whatever. A poor person, a richer person, if you could, how they look at the situation.
Well, I mean, you're angry and you're right in the middle.
No, I'm not angry.
I'm angry and I'm in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what somebody even lower down on your scale thinks
I imagine
or
you
feels.
come across people like, Simon, why are you all upset or anything about something? And they have a much better outlook about how things are.
I hate those people. I hate good outlook people.
You know who I'm talking about. Not specifically, but they're out there.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Back to your phone. Do you feel we're vulnerable by being traced or that it could be blown up to hurt you?
No, I'm not scared of either of those
Don't worry
things.
about that.
It's way more insidious than that. It's this thing is polluting our minds and our children's minds and
The psyche,
getting you to do
fucking with
things
consciousness.
and you don't even like you're doing them and then thinking that you're doing it out of free will and then thanking them for it. Like the whole thing's fucked up, man. These phones, this whole thing. And if it's true, if it ends up being that the blue screens really are the things that are keeping us like stupid and malleable, and they've figured out a way, and not only that, so they're feeding us the blue screens and we're agreeing to be tracked.
Yeah.
Every single Big Brother thing that we all rage against went out the window when we signed that contract
So
that
why be
nobody
angry?
read.
Why be
You know what I
angry?
mean? The one you just agreed to.
Why be angry?
No, it's true. Come on. Just eat the steak. I'm with you.
ASMR.
I'm with you. You're the one who's all caught up in Trump and the government and what's going to happen. I'm just busy eating my steak, or trying to anyways.
I disagree.
I'm just trying to eat my steak.
Problem is the steak's too expensive now, so we're eating
that is a
gruel.
fucking
And
problem.
are you okay with eating gruel in the Matrix? And the answer should be no.
The
Like
one
if we
thing-
agree to live in the Matrix, then we get the steak.
Yeah.
The one
I
thing
agree with that.
Thank you, Matt.
I joked about it yesterday.
Wait,
how,
as Kamar would do it?
the one thing that I was joking about yesterday is how convenient it was to have your computer just cast to the
It is, yeah.
Magic without any wires, but there's a whole bunch of, as we'll discuss with Brian Cox, because whenever I wear a certain pair of headphones, if I microwave something, it goes really weird, and it really upsets me that there are frequencies. You understand what I'm saying?
That you can't
Why
see.
is your microwave having anything to do with your earphones?
Yes. And then if I stand beside it, it goes, and when I walk away, it doesn't. And it really goes like, well, I'm involved in this. The waves, the fucking.
Yeah, wow, that's fucked up, man. Well, microwaves, that's another thing that
No, but
was like the first blue screen.
But do you not remember when you're in the early days of cell phone, your cell phone, if you're driving in the car, listening to like the radio or music, you would know your cell phone was about to ring before it rang.
Yeah, 'cause
because your
it would go
radio would go
low.
all
Yes.
like weird and shit. And you'd be like, What the? Oh, I'm about to get a call.
And
And
you imagine this beam that just sort of goes over your shoulder, bounces off the seat, goes in.
That had something to do with like the wire that was coming out in that tape that went in, you know?
No. I mean, like, no, just in general. Like, I'm talking like you didn't have any, no connection to the actual stereo.
Remember those connectors,
Of
Kamar?
course, those are the best.
You're too young.
I'm like 4 years younger than you piece of shit.
Like, were you even a kid when internet wasn't around?
I don't like you.
Was he?
What do you mean, was he? The internet? Okay.
You're one of those guys who got both?
He was probably 12 when people started getting it in their
I
house.
didn't have the internet in my house till I was like 17 or 18.
But it was around, like at a library.
I knew a few people that had it when I was like in grade 10.
12. No, you're 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was a bit off. He
Well,
was
I'm just
around.
saying, Simon's like, what are
was
you,
there.
7 years old?
He's outside with us. So yeah, let's get down to the brass tacks of it all.
No. Listen, you guys are too easily angered.
Civilizations,
Take it easy.
civilizations upon civilizations
Yes.
are happening everywhere because there's a lot of holes like they're digging here.
Yep.
And you don't hear about anything finding.
Oh, do you not?
Or do you?
Well, we have all sorts of like mound building things here.
No, what I'm saying is if
Like
you were
we
to-
don't dig under them because they're sacred land.
It's true.
Very
But maybe if they did LiDAR, they would see that
back
it's
to
on
Graham
top of
Hancock
something
and
else.
5%. I will say this about Sam Tripoli. Love Sam Tripoli. Listen to it all the time. Don't have to listen to it religiously like I listen to this. And he's not bringing anything to the table. There's a. It may be Dave Smith, Sam Tripoli. They get enough of their position, and as Simon said, he's leaned towards Catholicism.
Yeah.
As a support, which is weird because that's also what Stephen Colbert does. So either birds of a feather.
There's this church. Sorry, go ahead.
Simon's upset if Sam is doing that because he knows that's an audience he can capture,
Yeah.
and he thinks that's underhanded or I think you said gross, disgusting.
Well, I have no problem at all if Sam wants to become a Catholic or a Christian or whatever, wants to become religious.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird that if you're doing that for the purpose of gaining followers.
Yeah, that's greasy.
That seems gross.
Which brings me to a point that they talked about is
I'm not saying he's doing that. I said if that's what he did, I don't like that.
Yeah, Simon, I think it's greasy.
the exploitation of religion when you see a Joel Osteen or a Jimmy Swaggarts or you're like, these things should be almost unforgivable. Like what a breach of trust if a judge were to do something or someone in a position of power, but they just get off the thing like, well, I am Christian, do I not bleed? Or whatever it is that
Do I not
continues, which the righteous gemstones make fun of. But there are possibly like underneath Vatican City, another Vatican City.
That wouldn't surprise me at all if they built the Vatican on top of some other thing that was sacred to those people.
I mean, it would
there.
be so on brand for them.
It would be very on brand, but it's on brand for everyone. Like I was going to say, there's this church in Mexico. So it's like a mid-century church or whatever.
Yeah.
And underneath it is like 3 other pyramids. You know what I mean?
course, yeah.
Built into this mountain. Like shit was crazy back then.
We've also discussed it though that it's not like it wouldn't be surprising for an older civilization to find 3 pyramids and be like, "This is a holy place.
For
We're
sure.
building our place right here." You know what I mean?
Not only that, like you go to a place like wherever where the stones at the bottom are the biggest.
Yeah.
That could have been all that was there when they got there was the remains of a once great thing that they decided to build on top of.
But couldn't you feel like you were at a graveyard and get the creeps from the same thing in the same way?
Yeah, maybe.
Be warded away.
Be warded away.
One of the examples I used was
But sorry, I was just gonna say the thing that throws all of that out of the window, Matt, is when you go to a place like Baalbek, Lebanon, and the biggest stones are not the bottom stones. They've lifted these stones. You know what I mean? You're like, well, what the fuck is going on here? Because they didn't have to do this. Not only did they not have to do it, they probably shouldn't have done it. Like structure, you know what I mean? I'm not an engineer, but I imagine you put the biggest stones at the bottom. Anyways, just that's where you're like, well, what the fuck?
I just feel like we're never going to get those answers.
we're never going to get those answers unless
Unless it's alien and they come down and explain shit to us. But short of that, like you know what I mean? There's no sort of fossil record. I don't think, unless they
We
find,
could find
a
a
Rosetta
stash of
Stone
books.
Yeah. No, I agree with like I was saying, a Rosetta Stone type of scenario where they find a bunch of unearthed hieroglyphs that
like
really explain.
imagine
it
to yourself if like the Library of Alexandria was buried on purpose to hide it.
Of course, yeah.
It never burnt.
Yeah.
They burnt another building, hid the library, and then we come across it years. That's how we'll find out some shit like
all.
that.
Yeah.
And then you'll also have to just think like this could have been written by crazy people who were writing fiction novels of the time.
But it's potentially we won't find out.
No, we won't. I mean, I'm really hoping that like in the next couple of years, they just figure out life span longevity, you know, and we'll just,
Well, Kamar's
we were part of the internet, no internet.
Yeah.
It makes sense that we'd be part of
greatest
the
generation
no
ever,
life,
according to Shane Smith.
Expectancy and the live forever crowd.
yeah. I mean, Kamar's quantum computing might solve that, right?
Kamar has quantum computing.
No, but his
X
3
Factor.
years, whatever.
It actually is the X Factor. Coming to
Quantum
me,
computing,
my
yeah.
idea that, or our suggestion, whatever, started way back 3 years ago to it's now like looking at us in the face.
Well, didn't we say 5 years? When did we say 5 years? Within
End of the
5
world, I
years,
believe. That
everything
was like
would be
3 years
different.
ago.
Right when we started off,
Yeah.
I was actually trying to cram.
So there
today
must be
and
like 1 year left of that.
find that we could be spot on. What a Matrix moment that would be.
That would be the biggest Matrix moment.
One of the
We
examples.
would have Matrixed the Matrix.
One of the examples I used was St. Peter's Basilica. Neither of you guys have been there.
No, sir.
I have been there, yes.
You have been there. Oh,
I've
fantastic!
been to the Vatican.
during the
I've been-
day
Yes, during the day.
because it's different, right? Can you imagine, Matt?
Can I tell you something though? We went to the Vatican. We probably got there at like 10 o'clock in the morning and we didn't leave until like 6 o'clock at night.
And you weren't like
There's
walking
so
around.
much
You weren't
to
walking
see
around the
there.
same place. Like, well, how many times can we look at this?
Well, just like there's just so much.
You saw the bronze bed then,
I don't remember.
so it was very impactful. Anyways, the point being is it took many years to build.
And maybe we weren't there that long. That might have been an
Maybe it
exaggeration.
wasn't. Maybe
We
it
might have
wasn't.
got there at 10 and left at 12.
Maybe we went on a bus that drove past it.
I might
No,
not
no.
even have gone.
I was definitely there. I've been into the Vatican. I've seen the thing, touching the thing. I've
No power tools.
Hand of God. What's
Wow.
that painting called?
What, Da Vinci on the ceiling?
Yeah, the touching of
I
the
forget what
fingers
it's called.
there.
The inspiration. Michelangelo, or who ever did it, was
That's it.
24 years old.
Yeah. Well, it took him a really long time, didn't it?
And at 24 years old, he
He started at
acquired the
24
skills.
and he finished at,
Well, it took him a couple years. I don't remember.
well, I mean, I'm sure he had been like a pupil of some other painter for like
Do you sort of recall
20 years
how
back.
high it was?
the ceiling. It's very high.
I imagine how they did it was to build a whole frame of wood that would be the inside skeleton to help you build up and start at the top. And then once you got
called
it done, you
scaffolding,
take all
yeah.
the... Yeah, it is...
That's how they did it. They have, this isn't ancient Egypt.
Kamar
They-
cracked
They
the
have,
code.
they have documentation. Haven't you ever heard of him lying on his back to paint the ceiling?
Yes.
Because they built the floor so he could lie on his back.
No, they didn't build a floor. They had to build all that stuff and then build the building, right?
What he's saying is how they built the building was they built a scaffolding, and then framed around the scaffolding. And then you're talking about him painting it, which they also use scaffolding for.
Not the same scaffolding.
The same
course
scaffold-
not the same-
Of course
no.
it was the same scaffolding. As they were pushing down,
No, that's not correct.
they did not build the building, then look at it, and then put scaffolding up to paint
That's
it.
exactly what they
No
did.
way,
Yeah, no,
Jose.
that is 1000% what they
They
did.
built the building, start at the top, the painting, everything, the sculptures, all the way down. And we needed a bomb floor, no more scaffolding.
How many? This is an interesting question.
Yeah.
How many years from the building of the Sistine Chapel, or what's that?
Sistine.
The Basilica.
Not a gay chapel, Simon.
the Sistine.
No, it's Sistine.
Sistine.
You said 16.
No.
Sistine.
No.
Sistine
It's
Chapel.
Sistine.
Chapel.
Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the? Anyways, okay. From the making of, it's not the chapel. It's actually St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah.
To the painting of the Sistine.
There you go.
Chapel.
You're asking how many years?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Are you looking that up, Jamie?
No, he's not. He's already on.
120 years to complete. Construction began in 1506 under Pope Julius II and was completed in 1626 during the papacy of Pope Urban.
And when did they paint the ceiling?
By the way, if you go by the day, there's all these windows.
Yeah.
So the light comes in on some crazy angles that.
You been there?
No, I just on YouTube with a drone, bitch. And it's a totally different place at night.
YouTube with a drone, bitch.
On God.
Do you know that Montreal has a small replica of St. Peter's Basilica?
I did not know
It's on what's that street called? It's some guy's name.
that. Doesn't help. There's a million. Jean Drapeau.
No. It's the one right behind. It's St. Catherine, and then whatever that next street going this way is.
1481.
Anyways, it's on that street. It's on the same street as the Forum.
Okay, yeah.
It's right near there, actually.
It's a shit neighborhood.
Anyway, so it has like the basilica, and then
Yeah.
it has the courtyard with all those statues but it's just on like a smaller scale. It's still very big, but the one in St. Peter is huge. In Vatican City is huge.
Interesting.
The Sistine Chapel was completed in 1481. Sistine. Construction began in 1473. Michelangelo was completed the ceiling in 1508.
So it didn't start until after the basilica had been built.
Yeah, some of it was built. It wasn't a whole project that took 120 years to build. They had stuff, maybe built on other stuff, and then it has grown since then. I don't know if you're smarter for that, but thanks for listening. Do you take more in listening or reading? I really think reading is better.
Oh no, listening 100%.
Well, it's just your preferred intake, though. Is that possible?
It's a weird one because I know that when I read, I could read a whole page and then sit there and go, "Well, I didn't take in any of that." My eyes went over every word. I said it in my head.
You need Adderall.
Yeah.
I days off. I was actually just thinking, I've read so many books in my life.
Yeah.
Most of them super high. I bet you any amount of money I could go back and reread all those books now and be perfectly happy doing it. No, I'm serious. And I was like, Catcher in the Rye was a great book, but I don't really remember it. I remember these brief moments of it, but I could read that whole book again and probably love it.
Simon, every book I
Or
read,
not Catcher in the Rye, but Catcher in the Rye. That's another good
Every
example.
book
That's
I
not
read
what
in
was thinking.
school.
Catch-22.
Along the way, though, you're like, oh, yeah. I love
Lord of the
Catch-22.
Rings, the Crystal, not Lord of the Rings,
didn't
Lord of the
read
Flies,
Amazing.
the Chrysalid, any school
so
book.
good.
I don't remember any of them.
Yeah.
And I know for sure I had to read them. I had to write reports on them. I could not tell. I mean, Lord of the Flies, I obviously know the premise.
They're
but
coming out with a new movie, eh?
why?
Or no, maybe not a movie. Maybe it's a show.
That's even worse.
No, why are you saying that? It's such a great story. They could do something great with it now.
But they won't.
But they might.
But they won't.
They still do good shit, Matt. You're such a fucking naysayer. You
Really,
said
the
you
biggest
didn't-
curmudgeon I know
Did you
over
like
here.
the Penguin?
I'm coming around.
The suck a dick.
You suck a dick. I said I'm coming around.
All right, come on, next.
The more I watch, the less I know. NFLFO. Hunter, some guy said to Joe, do you want a copy of what's on Hunter Biden's laptop? And they both sort of said, well, I think that's illegal. Just be sharing that stuff around. And who knows what's being shared around again. Everyone has someone, well, we don't, who has someone who's on 4chan.
I have someone that's on 4chan. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
okay, you do.
So do you.
Well, I didn't know.
He gave you a bit this week.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's all over that shit.
No, I think I need a younger
I'm supposed
4chaner.
to give you props actually for something. Shout out to Jesse Jean for bringing this to my attention. But last week, apparently, or 2 weeks ago, you were talking about how when they found out about Zinfandel,
Yeah.
it opened the door for, I don't know. I wasn't really listening to what he
I know
said.
you don't
either.
listen to what I say.
No
Yeah.
surprise there.
What did you say?
I said that they, after 10 years of DNA testing, they found in this woman's yard, this old woman in Croatia, they found that was like the original Zinfandel vine.
Yeah.
So that they found out like Zinfandel originated in Croatia. That's what I'd
And
say.
apparently that helps somehow with all wines or something to figure out. I don't know.
Interesting.
Anyways, you were right. And I was supposed to give you your
Yeah,
props.
there we go. I mean, I do host trivia, so I do have a lot of
Glaze
I do have
fest.
a lot of useless fucking knowledge.
You and Joe.
You as well, Simon. You have a lot of useless knowledge as well.
You've gotten a, what does he call it? An unwanted education?
Yeah.
There's a weird thing they talked about with the minor attracted being pushed
Gross.
versus being a pedophile. And that's, again, this extreme form of empathy.
Are you seeing that being pushed somewhere? Like I've just
No. They are talking about it.
Yeah, no,
They're seeing it
I'm
pushed
asking you. Like, have you personally? You've got your finger on the button. Like the only time I've ever really heard of it is that NAMBLA.
Yeah. North
And is
American
that a
Man Boy
real
Love
thing, or was that
Association.
just in some movie?
No, that was a real thing. Yeah. I mean, how many? This is the thing, though. When you hear that's a real thing, if you dug deep and you found out that they had 5,000 members worldwide,
I
like,
wouldn't love it.
no, you don't. No, you don't love it, but you're aware that there are unfortunately 5,000 pedophiles out there, right?
I would imagine there's a lot more than 5,000. If you're
Simon.
signing up for a newsletter,
Simon.
you're not the
Simon.
brightest of pedophiles.
You're pushing my point. My
Yeah.
point is that with 8 billion people out there, we're well aware. So when you find out there's 5,000 members of NAMBLA, it's gross, but you're like,
No,
this
but the
isn't
fact
anything
that
I
the-
didn't expect. I know you're like the fact that some board member was like, let's start a group and
Yeah.
fucking brand it
Yeah.
and tell people like we're great. Yeah, it's fucked up.
But like I said, I haven't seen that being pushed as like a narrative where
No.
it's okay to.
I'm telling you, that's like a libs of TikTok thing where you don't see it in real life. You just see some fucking pink haired asshole online who's like, I'm a cat and I believe this, and it's all horseshit. The same way, you know what, Kamar? It's just like how when you were down at the fucking trucker rallies, that one dude showed up with the swastika on his bag and all sorts of shit, and it was all just there to make people be like, oh, they're all racist down there. It's all horseshit. He's not even listening. Kamar's,
You don't think there's any pedophiles and that there's
What? No. Stop.
No. I'm trying to. This is what I heard from
That's
you.
not.
No,
at
you
all
weren't
what he
listening.
said.
You weren't listening
you
at
weren't
all.
paying attention
Yes,
at all.
zero
That's
attention.
You
how-
just
that's how it
made
works.
up what you wanted
the most
to hear.
egregious-
Matt's a pedophile.
Yeah.
Agreed. Next point.
Yeah,
Let's move
unreal.
on.
Fuck this guy.
As you were, no, but
We'll be right back.
they seem to have some real inside knowledge of people injecting,
Who?
or I wrote injecting, but putting child porn on your computer, on your device.
That sounds to me like somebody who's about to be busted for child porn. Just
Joe, yeah.
getting the bases ready. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But
if it listen,
you recall what I'm talking
Like
about.
I definitely don't have any people buried in my basement.
If this-
Don't check.
I mean, if the CIA has done that or any sort of
100% they've done that.
Yeah,
like
that's-
I'm just
I mean, that's
joking
scary
about
as
the
fuck.
Joe thing. Of course they've done that. If they have access to people's computers, they've done that.
it's also a big problem because you know how like there's rules in war.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like that's one of those ones where it's like you guys shouldn't do that because we really need to catch the right pedophile.
That's
Do you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it
You're
should be-
muddying the waters, you fucking idiots.
This is it. It's like a rules of engagement thing where it's like, guys, this is one area where we'd rather you didn't fish for criminals in a fucking weird way here. If you could just let it play out so we know who's who. And like, same thing, like this Diddy shit. Like the fact that the FBI or any group could have been working with him and that now we'll never know who the fuck is a weirdo, that should bother all of us. Like,
Which is crazier, the police creating the terrorist guy, you know, that,
Yeah,
he's
the
an
fifth
example,
yeah.
or creating the pedophile to a sex offender. They're both bad, I guess.
I mean, all of it's terrible.
Statue of Liberty is a guy.
I was just listening to a podcast with Tripoli actually all about this, but I've heard it on multiple podcasts. The Mithras, this god Mithras, apparently is what
Nothing wrong with that.
all these statues that we all hold near and dear, the Olympics. Like, have you ever seen the Olympics person? It's also the person for like the flower company there.
Yeah.
And then Mithras is one god in one lexicon and then transfers to a different one when you get to either Greek or Roman or whatever, you know what I mean? And then Mithras becomes like Hermes or something. And this god is like everywhere in logos, in the Statue of Liberty. And you're like, well, what is Mithras? You know what I mean? And then Apparently, it's this hermaphrodite god who.
That's so weird.
It's just the whole thing is weird. And then you're like, well, who gave us? Like, did we build the Statue of Liberty? No, it was a gift from France.
Yeah.
So they gave us this thing
Well,
that
us,
we
they didn't give it to
thought,
us.
not us, the Americans, but like, oh, that's amazing. What a nice present. But maybe they were either giving them
It's a
like,
Trojan horse.
not like that, but it could have been like this giant thing that was needed for some sort of ritual that happens that made the United States into, or North America into whatever. Who knows? I don't know. I
get
don't
what you're
like to
saying.
just say America because anything happening down there spills over up here. It's not like we're safe from
no.
Mithras up here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Mithras cares about when they're casting their spells on humanity. I don't think it matters about the borders between Canada and
Yeah,
the
Mithras
USA.
doesn't see race or color.
It doesn't see borders.
Yeah.
It's like we're all one people who are going to be under their control.
Oh, Mithras.
Oh, Mithras, yeah. Anyways, it's interesting though, just that like again, it's one of these things that like, yeah, the Statue of Liberty. We love the Statue of Liberty. We hold that so dear because it's a sign of freedom.
Well, do we know it's a tranny with a big dick hanging
Well,
down? I don't-
not even,
But
not
don't you
even.
think that'd be a good compromise if it came out and they tried to push that? I would be like, oh, they're jamming down the throat. I was like, oh, there you go, perfect. You got your
I mean, let me ask you a question
symbol
though.
for everybody.
If we found out that that's for sure what they were trying to push, could you not just get past that and be like, it now represents whatever we want it to represent, and it for all intents and purposes, if 98% of the living population in North America thinks it's a woman and that it represents liberty, then isn't that what it is?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I mean, you know, we change the meaning of stuff.
Like I said, if it's there to be part of some like giant ritual, like
Yeah,
that's
weird.
probably not great to have in your in New York City. You know what I
Simon,
mean?
it's weird.
Anywho,
Weird.
and look, you know, like
It's weird.
why? Yeah, whatever. Anyways, interesting.
Is it?
I think so. This is what we get from Sam Tripoli. Interesting shit.
Space station.
Bet you didn't know that about the Statue of Liberty.
I
eh,
did
Matt?
not. No.
So there you learn.
Didn't know-
Space
didn't
station.
know-
Statue of Liberty out of
Sorry,
cock.
Kamar, I'm so sorry. Did you learn anything new from Trump this week?
No.
Well,
No. Oh, wait, I learned that Lincoln, big man, tall man,
that's right. Very big.
had melancholia.
I didn't know that Barron was so tall, in all fairness. So I did learn
I knew he
that.
was tall. I didn't know
You
he
know
was.
he was 6'6"?
I didn't know he was 6'9".
So I'm so sorry to
I don't
do
think he's
this.
6'9". I think he's 6'6".
Oh, you think that's a Trump thing?
Yeah. No, I think he said 6'6".
No, he said 6'9".
He said
taller
6'9"?
than Lincoln. Taller than Lincoln.
That's 7 feet. I don't even...
3 inches short of. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Doesn't cap out at 10.
No, it does not.
This dummy.
If
Go ahead.
back to Trump, if his story is true, that at this point you can't fly a plane into Baghdad or wherever he was going with the Iraq story. But if
Yeah.
that's true, that after all they've been through, it's still that hot there, for lack of a better word, that's crazy. And that whole war and everything I guess it is. Like, there's not one you could look what they did. They made peace. Now we have a good relationship.
I
They
don't...
fucked
I
around. They
don't
laundered
buy
some
it.
money and they moved on to the next one.
They turned off the lights in that plane because there was some sort of weird gay orgy with the pilot.
That's fine.
It had nothing to do with staying under the radar
fine.
of people trying to shoot you on the ground.
Those beautiful pilots blowing each other all night. I watched cucking.
Space
It
station.
really does sound like Dr. Evil. You know, when he's telling
Yeah.
the story about his dad, my dad was
He'd make outlandish claims like he invented the question mark.
wrap me in burlap.
Space station
Yeah.
and Antarctica. One thing we all can agree on in a world where we can't agree on anything.
Yes.
We're not friends.
Fishy.
We're
Yeah.
worried about them dropping bombs on us.
Yeah.
And yet everybody's just cool about the fact that we're sharing a bathroom on the space station. It's so
Suspect.
fucking weird.
That's everyone's in on something.
It's so weird. And think about these two countries, these two nations, I'm sorry, that were in the race to get to space.
Yeah.
Were the two that just decided to be buddy up
Yeah.
on this imaginary space station.
It's fucked.
It's crazy. But we believe it. Because
But we believe it.
because that's what it said in our textbooks growing up. Why wouldn't we believe it? Like,
You're right.
Sam also suggested the most diabolical of all the agencies is the NASA agency.
I brought this to the table weeks ago.
Using an amazing, well, yeah, you did, and using a really good example that the guy who started it is pure evil.
The evilest.
And so how could he, I know I did that, but this is to atone for the person I was. I mean, that's an explanation, but
There
probably
was
not true.
no atoning. And I imagine that, like, for sure, Ron was building rockets for the Germans. Like, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
I imagine at the same time, those Germans were making plans to go to space. Like, I don't think the rockets were the end all and be all for them, is what I'm saying. They built UFOs and shit. They had crazy
Do you know what
non-gravity
isn't?
stuff.
Do you know what not in space? Jews and gypsies, yeah?
We'll get into that in the next guest. We'll get into that with the next guest.
It's true. There are no Jews
Yeah.
in space. Well, that we know of.
Yeah, definitely no gypsies.
But come to think of it, I bet you there's a whole Jew colony on the moon.
Oh, for sure. You guys got there first. 100%.
We've been there for a
Yeah.
long time.
Always possible. Sam's explanation for technology and advancement, sorcery.
Yeah. Strong argument.
No, but he's saying, to Simon's point about possible techniques or powers they had to build these pyramids, like over the course of time.
Let me just throw something out for
Deeper
you,
lessons
okay?
and knowledge than
Let's imagine that magic.
Yeah.
Just hear me out, Matt, okay? You're not going to
I'm
like
listening.
this,
No,
but hear me out.
I am, yeah.
Let's imagine that magic was a part of, like, the world, meaning that in order for prosperity to happen, they knew spells they could do. In order for bad things to happen, they knew spells they could do. These spells involved getting lots of people together, maybe thinking the same type of things in front of similar structures or structures that were sitting on very specific places on there. This was information that they had.
Yeah.
Would it not be possible then that the same people who, like, made America what it is, deciding where statues go and this and that, could have been putting those things in places for a reason?
Yeah.
For the very same reason, because they had the knowledge of their ancestors who were doing it before, and it obviously worked really well for them for a while, I guess.
I think, Simon, you know what? If I've learned anything over the last 6 years, it's that
And
anything is
again,
possible.
Mithras, and then you find out about Mithras, and then you find out about these, like, obelisks all over the place. The fact that Rome
Yeah.
went to that much trouble to not build their own obelisk, but steal an obelisk from Egypt and bring it all the, like, you know how hard that would have been back at that time?
Yeah, but yeah, I know. I'm just,
It was a lot of work.
yeah. It's just one of those things to me where it's also like, they were deeply spiritual and religious back then, and they believed in a lot of bullshit. Like if the sun shined on that obelisk at the right time of day and the right person was, you know what I mean?
We believe now that they believed in a bunch of bullshit.
Touche, Simon.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if
yeah.
that shit was working back in the day, bullshit would have been the farthest thing from their tongue.
Listen, Simon. You know you multiple times have brought up that the Egyptians could have potentially built the pyramids with like sound, and I always kind of scoffed it off because you did a shit poor job of explaining it. But like I saw this thing the other day, this uncontacted tribe in like New Guinea, and they're all singing. Like no, there's no music. It's just like 8 dudes with their kids on their back walking through the jungle, singing in unison. It's beautiful. I'll give like it sounded beautiful, but I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, music is very interesting, especially if you think about an uncontacted tribe coming up with like a song and melody. Because like music is something we take for granted in that you're born and there's music around. You can learn music. You can go on YouTube. You can teach yourself music. You hear harmony all the time.
Yeah, but if you never hear it, would it come to you?
Precisely. And so it's one of those things where like, you know, I was even talking a few weeks ago about how like there's an international standard for the hertz that we play music at. Are you opening a Poker Stars bonus on the fucking...
Is there
This guy's
like
the biggest
so
degenerate on
basically
Earth.
what you're asking is there a universal music of the universe? Like
Sure. Even what I'm saying is like, you know, if you had
That would have
if
come
you had
to you.
1,000 people that all got on the same, and again, I'm not saying it would be easy. It could be a very difficult thing to attain, but like 1,000 people get on the same frequency and hum, and it just like, I don't know if you've ever seen it. This guy demonstrated, he put a speaker under this like black piece of cardboard, not cardboard, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's plastic. And on top of it, he put a bunch of sand. And then he played a bunch of different like bass resonances. And it always creates a crazy pattern. But it's always a pattern. There's always like when the bass rattles, there's always a crazy pattern where there's no sand and then there's lines of sand. And like, I know it's all in waves. Sound is just waves.
Let's put it this way. Your body is being held together by vibrating atoms.
Yeah, I know. It's
you
insane.
know what I
Yeah, the
mean?
whole thing's
And
nuts.
that vibration, that noise that those atoms are making is holding your
Harmony.
skin and bones and all of that together. Like, we don't understand music. We only understand music as this fancy thing we hear.
And we like things we've heard before.
You know what's
Familiar.
interesting though, Matt? And this would, I don't know if they could ever do this, but if you ran an experiment where there was no input of music,
Yeah. Like a
Would
kid grows up without music.
here and here, or 100 kids grow up all without music, do some of those kids end up with the same tunes in their head?
Yeah, the
what
same four
or
chords.
Is there universal, which then brings you back to like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which at the end, it's them up on top of the mountain trying to do, 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 whatever it fucking is, because
yeah.
that's the
The resonance that they pick up or whatever.
yeah, it's the tone of the universe. It's
Yeah.
the language that the aliens speak that we can all understand. It's such a cool idea. Again, we only know music as like a fun thing that we hear in our ears that people get rich doing. You know what I mean? But when you go back to Africans
Yeah.
and like Power of One, that type of music.
Yeah. Tribal music.
Like they were doing that to make shit happen, to make it rain, to make the crops grow, to whatever. I don't know. There's something to that for sure. I'm with you. There's something to that.
Yeah. Listen, there's a reason. Like, I think we're all drawn to music for a reason. There's I go back to it. Donald Trump was asked by Ali G, like, what's the most popular thing in the world? And I think it was the most succinct, quick answer I've ever heard Donald Trump give. He said music. And I was like, it probably really is the most popular thing across the globe.
Yeah, that and water.
Well, no, but water's a necessity. You don't need music. Like, without water, you will die.
I wonder if you don't need music, Matt. Like,
That's a good question.
most people, again, like, would you hear a tune in your head just as you're working, whatever? You know what I mean? You're not. I don't know.
No, I mean, if you think, like, I feel like it is just a natural thing. Like, even if you had never heard music, to just be like,
everything is pattern, right? Like, it's
yeah, and we love that shit.
But all
as
of
humans.
this shit seems crazy. The idea of moving bricks with your voice and all of this, until you start thinking about the fact that you are being held together by sound.
Listen, it isn't.
I think we will broach back into this with Brian Cox.
Yeah,
a lot.
right. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, well, we got to move on, because if we want to give Brian Cox any amount of time, which we're probably not, right?
Not a ton. I mean, I didn't understand.
Felt like Joe sort of threw Kevin James on the bus with his supplement.
Definitely
thing.
threw Kevin James under the bus. It was a whole Steve-O toilet paper all over again.
But there was sort of Joe owning on his own. He had his own issues, Alpha Brain with the.
Not really. It was like, yeah, we've all fucked up, but Kevin James fucked up really bad.
Yeah.
Turns out the answer all along was Zin.
Yes.
All
right,
these
yeah.
guys tried to build the nootropics and stuff. and they came to them.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The answer was under our nose the whole time.
Or a lip.
Just waiting for FDA approval.
You can remember, you can just barely remember, the ashtrays in cars, on buses, public buses. The plane, I don't imagine I remember enough.
Hold
I
on,
didn't
you
go
could
on
smoke
planes.
on a public bus?
Yeah, oh yeah. Public, or people just did and no one did anything because there was cigarette burns and stuff. Yes.
I can't remember ever
Yes.
smoking on the bus.
That's because by the time you were like,
No, Simon, I was not smoking.
Oh, okay.
Someone on the bus was smoking.
At some point. No, but you were on a bus while somebody was smoking.
Yes.
Really? I maybe I just can't remember.
But you could smoke everywhere.
I know, it was crazy.
Restaurants.
Walking through shopping centers, smoking. You just
Nuts.
couldn't smoke in stores. You could smoke in the actual shopping
doctor
center.
delivering a baby, cigarette in his
I mean,
mouth.
that was like at the beginning of.
Go on.
No, I just mean like we're talking about the 1980s. That was the 1940s.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
50s.
I'm just saying.
I
you go
was
back
the
far enough.
premier.
We stopped doing that pretty soon. I wonder.
I don't know.
I was the premier ashtray designer in cars in the world. Those
Yeah.
waitresses
Yeah.
got their cancer.
Hey, camera developer man, film developer man, hold my beer.
Well, yeah. But smoking is one of those interesting.
Film developer, man. What a terrible.
Smoking is one of those things that we sort of like. Well, you're sort of infringing our freedoms, but it's for the best of everyone and should be used as an example as such.
I just don't think you can be reprimanding me for smoking with your mouth full of zin. You know what I mean?
I don't.
The weird thing is this, like I feel both ways about it. Like I agree that having a smoke-free world is a better world, but I also think that there should be some leniency in areas. Like I don't see it as being a big problem if you open a bar or restaurant and you get a special license and everyone that goes in there is aware they're a fully grown adult.
Staff as well.
Staff, this is what I'm saying. Everyone signs up and says, I'm aware that marijuana is going to be smoked in here or cigarettes are going to be smoked in here. We're all adults. We're supposed to be free to a degree, right? Like you were saying earlier, how free are we? Well, we're as free as we decide to let ourselves be.
I mean, I kind of understand like the no smoking in the restaurant because the waitress, that's what it wasn't for you. It was for the waitress.
I know, but like Kamar just said, you open a restaurant and you specifically have a license and you say to all the staff, listen, don't get a job here if you don't want to be in a smoking environment.
Is it okay then, Matt, to have a restaurant that only has big boobed women?
Yes.
No, but it's not.
Hooters.
You know what I mean?
It is. It happens.
First of all, Simon, they already found a loophole for that.
How did they do that?
You hire models. You don't hire waitresses.
Again, that just seems like one of those loopholes.
It is. I just said
they're
that.
like could shut it down real easy, but they're not. You know what I mean?
One of the things they talked about was the weed comedy clubs in Toronto. Well, one in particular, which was
He called
The
it the gorilla
Underground.
in the mist.
the Underground, I believe. And when I was down in Toronto, there was another one called Vapor Central, and these were big.
Well, that's the
Spaces.
vape lounge, right?
Well, it was just weed at this time.
Yeah, okay.
This is before the gray area, but they were comedy clubs, and everyone was so high. Until you got high, you sort of felt weird, but just how sedated and calm everyone was. But the one they talked about in particular, called the Underground, had not a big or good ventilation system. This other one did. So to your point, that bar where everyone's consenting could have relatively clean air if they had crazy things and decided to do that.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like I said, I'm not saying that you say, like Simon, restaurants are a good example. I would say no restaurants. You can't smoke in a restaurant. But again, if you want to have a bar or like a vape lounge makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, I can't believe they're stopping that. But who knows? I guess it's because we don't know exactly.
No, but like Kamar said, if you listen, we let people work in chemical factories, and all we do is we say the chemical factory has to have the proper shit installed. So you just say, listen, you install a good fucking air system, and now we let people hit the vape, inside while you watch a football game. It's not that crazy.
I don't think it's that crazy, Matt. I agree with you.
Just nothing to do with anything. The other day I was waiting for the bus because my car's in the shop, and they've done this concrete work by the bus stop. I noticed because I live across the street now because I wait for the bus on a regular basis. And they're painting some sort of sealant on it.
Yeah.
They're wearing full masks, gloves, everything. And I was like 5 feet away just going, whoa. Like it was very...
That's my point, is like...
very toxic.
We have no problem letting people work around toxic chemicals all the time.
Well, they started looking at me like, you shouldn't be standing so close, buddy. But I was getting quite high.
Like, dude, welding. Welding is a good example. If you stare at someone welding, you go welder blind or whatever. There's dudes welding just like out. You know what I mean? Like, if you're close to them, they're like, whoa, 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 you can't, like... But you could be 15 feet away just driving by and...
running machines without proper hearing protection.
Dude, there's all sorts of... My point remains that, like, this whole... I understand protecting... I also know this. They retested secondhand smoke a couple years ago in Britain, and they were like, oh, we might have misread the data on this.
You know who ran that study?
No, Simon.
William Morris.
No. There's no point in William Morris running that anymore because you can't smoke anymore. Like, they know they're not going to get that legislation back. So I don't think it's a William Morris thing. Normally I would agree with you. Normally I would have read that and been like, of course it's these guys, but they have nothing to gain from...
Well, that would be interesting as an experiment, and we'll talk about the next one. We'll wrap this up, so I know it is if now we've adopted it. If they took away all the regulations, sure, you can smoke wherever you want, smoke on patios. Would it just all come back?
No.
Or has society shifted that you don't even need it?
I think society has shifted.
I agree. I think most, like, again, if I owned a restaurant, I would not want people smoking cigarettes inside my restaurant. That's just plain and fucking simple.
Gross. Yeah, no, some things are good that they happen. Like,
same thing, the bus, dude. We don't want to work. Like, kids can't understand that we kind of grew up on the edge of it, but like pre-1980, the whole world reeked of cigarettes. Everywhere. Like, it was rude. If I
Some
went,
places
if I
in the
went
world
to,
still reeks of cigarettes.
if I went to your house and you didn't smoke in the 70s and you didn't present an ashtray for me to smoke a cigarette in your home, that was like rude. You were a bad house guest. You know what I mean? Like, or a bad host. It was like, and now the thought, like, if I walked into someone's home who didn't smoke and I was like, I'm going to fire up a cigarette in your living room, they'd be like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah,
Like,
imagine you get in somebody's car and you just light up
Fire up a
cigarette,
dart.
even though they don't smoke. It would be insane.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's so frowned upon.
It would be insane.
The last little thing about the smoking story is that they had this special provision for pilots.
Yeah, you guys can keep going. Too stressful a job.
No
Yeah.
way you're fucking
Just crack the window a little bit.
And that seemed to go way past smoking. I think it went to like coke and
Yeah,
meth
whatever-
and, like whatever you
whatever
guys
need
need,
to do to get through.
whatever you handsome pilots need, you're gonna get.
It's the Trump rule 407. Yeah. If they need to get blown while
Imagine,
smoking, that's
yeah.
fine.
I'm gonna pass an act that allows these handsome pilots to imbibe any chemicals they want anytime they're in the air.
Do you
Kill a hooker up there. Do whatever.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder what happened to Dom Herrera? I felt like he was a mainstay back in the day, in the early days. If you were an OG,
Yeah.
He was a pretty old guy. It's
What?
possible he's just like slowed down because he's old.
well, Trump was on there, so I mean, anyways, I guess it doesn't matter.
Trump's running for president. Dom Herrera isn't selling anything.
No, but Tom Papa, I mean,
He hasn't been around either.
And Tom Papa and Dom Herrera are not the same age.
Dominic Herrera, they were really good friends. Joe
Tom
and Dom.
Papa and Joe are the same.
I think Joe is too right wing for Dom. That's what my
Ooh, and maybe for Tom.
yeah,
No.
and possible.
Wow, is that why we've stopped
Well,
seeing people? 'cause
that's
they
what I
don't
forgot to
wanna go
mention.
on
That
a
was the other thing.
far-right,
Whenever Joe would go off about trans and sports with Luke Bryan, not Zach, Luke just shut up.
because he's part of that whole.
No, well, he's American Idol. He didn't
Oh,
push
right.
back, but he didn't say, "Yeah, I feel the same way." He just let Joe go, and then moved.
I always
subject.
forget that he was on American Idol because that's like Howard Stern stopped saying anything
Howard Stern is the worst now.
wildly
Howard-
controversial
Howard
because
Stern-
he's on American
Howard
Got
Stern
Talent.
is the worst.
I would now argue that Kill Tony is the Howard Stern.
I will not argue that.
I mean,
I also will not argue
No.
that.
What
I will
in-
not hear that argument.
what
will
is the
not
cool
either.
show with guests on it now? Your Howard Stern, your Opie and Anthony. It's your Kill Tony.
I guess I just don't like. I've been watching Kill Tony since the start.
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I've been watching Kill Tony for a long time.
I've been watching Kill Tony since Kamar told me about it.
Is that okay?
Could you say that?
No, you didn't tell me about it.
Could you say that?
Anyways, I guess you just don't like seeing like your band get cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you like it to be cool, but you don't want it to be like mainstream.
Well, this is the
Of
point
course,
I was
yeah.
going to say, but you interrupted me.
Did I?
No.
Did I?
No, I give this a 3.5. I like Sam. But nothing to table. There's a victory lap. His special did come out, but he didn't push it.
Oh, yeah, I like
So that's
that.
bonus points.
You know what? I'm going to go on a limb. I actually give this one a 4, only because this felt like old Joe.
Yeah.
Not like
agreed.
super serious, like lighthearted conspiracy shit. Sam didn't.
Not pushing back on the Anunnaki.
No, that's like Sam was like, this is how I feel. If you feel differently, I don't really give a fuck. Like I'm just out here having fun, shooting the shit. Sam's like I don't care about any of his viewpoints or his religious shit. Like none of that bothers me. He's a
No,
free.
it doesn't bother me either.
No, again, this just felt like the old Joe episodes that we really liked, and it was a refreshing.
I agree, Matt. I totally agree.
I feel it was Sam's victory lap, vindication. He's been around enough, and he was at the early Kill Tonys. Like he's in a good place. Go Sam, go.
I'll give it a 3.75.
There we go. The last one, Kamar. Home stretch. Do you ever just know? Do you ever? I know you know this, but you ever just like you're like I'm never gonna win a bet again. Like I will never ever win a bet again.
22-17.
What it feels like sometimes.
22-17.
But I feel like tonight
Bryan
I'm going to break
Cox.
that streak.
I like that attitude.
You know the night when you're like, well, okay, I made like all of these bets, lots of bets, and imagine like a bunch of them paid off all in
No,
one night.
Simon. I literally like. I wake up.
No, it's never happened
I
before.
wake up at night like to those dreams where I'm like, oh my god, I hit 4 cards.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
Wouldn't it?
Okay, sorry, Kamar. Go on. Bryan Cox, number
Simon, the real dream would be hitting 1 fucking card
Yeah.
at this point. Bryan Cox.
22-17.
22-17.
You're welcome, Brett.
This episode was just I mean, does he even understand what he's saying?
No, but I think that's the beauty of it.
Well, I'd like to talk about how people still refer to, and this may be echoing Weinstein, Epstein, Eric.
Which one? The guy running the island or the guy
Portals,
doing the
portals,
calculations?
portals.
Eric Weinstein.
How people still refer to Albert Einstein and Oppenheimer.
What do you mean still refer to them?
Like, we're not at a point where those guys thought what they thought, but
Can I tell you why that is?
of course.
In a normal scheme of things, we would have had people who would have come around and had huge discoveries in the meantime. You would still talk about Einstein, but there would be somebody who came and figured out whatever was next. That didn't happen because the whole science was sent down a rabbit on a wild goose chase on purpose, which is the whole dark matter, not dark matter, the quantum whatever.
Yeah,
No, string theory. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So they chased string theory for 45 years or whatever it is, 50 years. And now they know that string theory isn't even a thing. Nobody
That's
cares
science,
about
according
it.
to Brian Cox, though.
So
Find out you're wrong.
They've wasted 50 years.
Well, he would argue against that.
They've wasted 50 years. In that 50 years, we probably would have come up with another Albert Einstein.
I mean, you could just
That's what I think.
you could just argue that there are outliers and that Albert Einstein was just like miles ahead of everyone else. And I mean, also, it's all theories, right? Like maybe it's luck.
I mean, maybe.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like,
It really seemed like Einstein had some idea of how the universe worked. We don't know if he's right or not.
Simon, apparently Einstein theorized that there should be a planet. Like, he was like, there should be a planet right here. And then like a decade later, they found Pluto.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's right where he said it would be, which is so far beyond my scope of.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Dude, I'm so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And when you hear shit like that, you're like,
But doesn't that kind of at the same time, Matt? No, in all fairness, doesn't that sound like a Paul Bunyan tale? Where like, yeah, he chopped down 500 trees and that's how America was formed.
I mean, listen, if
it's like
hold
this
on.
guy discovered a planet, he didn't discover shit. Gravity doesn't even exist. Newton's a fraud.
Theory.
Einstein's a fraud.
Theory.
They're all theorists.
yeah, but again,
I can make theories
And
too.
no, but
you know what I mean?
hold on.
How with all so much advancement, so much information sharing, are we still on these guys with what they had?
This is what I'm saying. It's because they got subverted.
Big oil.
Listen, I got some theories about Bigfoot.
Well,
You know what I mean? Does
no.
that make me Albert Einstein?
Brian Cox does not. If you could travel,
It's just total radio silence.
if you could travel, now with mass, you can't travel the speed of light. We all knew that, right?
yeah.
But if you could travel, even if you went someplace, when you came back, wherever you were is 4 million years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pause where you go.
So
and that's
if
it.
you went to Florida, when you come back, your family's all dead.
yeah, these volcanoes exactly.
So you'd probably just stay home.
Well, you'd be different. You wouldn't be sentimental like that. But I would also
Sure, I understand that.
I would
statement.
also argue, as far as science goes, that's why traveling whatnot is not in a like the whole Mars Elon is futile.
You're talking about space travel, right? Like,
We're working on space travel right now that we can only do when the weather's right and the clouds aren't there. And do we all agree that the consensus is that a rocket blasts off and has to do this, or it's bigger and bigger and finally breaks? It doesn't go straight up in any direction and decide where it wants to go.
I mean, I have no idea how it happens, but I'll take your word for it. Is that
Wait,
how
is
it
what
works?
you're saying that it goes around the Earth like 5 times and then
Until it more and more and more, and then it catches that whatever special current.
I believe it
which-
maybe goes around once, like it does.
well,
Whatever.
I know. I'm not saying 5 times twice, but I
I think just once it goes around, uses the gravity, and then slingshots out. I believe. I could be wrong. Though. You could be right.
Isn't it weird that space travel depends on like grabbing onto a space current and riding like a wave?
Or the Little Prince?
Yeah, pretty much like the tail
Did you-
of a comet.
Did you ever watch The Little Prince?
No, he's too young.
Le Petit Prince.
Right, c'est ça. Every atom
you,
or
Simon.
it's the neutron, proton, the smallest particle
Yeah.
that makes up everything, is
I think it's a proton. Isn't it?
information.
I believe it's a proton. Yeah.
is information.
But there are smaller things, like aren't there like quarks and
Quarks are information as well. Like,
Yeah,
that's how it's all data that somehow gets decided to be
It's
you.
so interesting.
This, that, the other.
That's so weird to think that every cell in your body is a little piece of data that goes up to making you. That's so bonkers.
That decides to
That's
work.
like
It's a
Lego. It's
simulation.
like Lego
Simulation.
blocks.
Well, this is what this is where it gets to, that the quantum computer would be able to break that down to expose the simulation. It's too much.
Is that what the point of the quantum computer is? It's just break things down to expose the
It would figure out
simulation.
the singularity and the simulation. The calculations, he said, take a million years for what we have now to figure out how we're being projected as holograms, he said. And that's even crazier if you think that your existence is a sliver, like the size of a microfilm, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole
in the
thing-
big scheme of the
and
universe,
whole
you
thing
mean?
is and the whole thing is the universe. And cut a slice through the universe, and that's your whole existence and everything. And on either side, there's another sliver, like a pie that's a gazillion slices.
He keeps using different
I'm
thin references.
So are we pieces of cake? Are we pies?
You're a
Are we
microfiche. You're a
slivers?
microfiche in a pie in the world.
No, but I get it.
I look
We're-
at it like a cartridge that you would load slides into.
Okay.
Each slide is a reality.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like it has to be 3D. It isn't just a flat line, but it all exists in that. And if you move to the next one, it's a different reality, but the whole thing makes up the reality.
That's why they call it the carousel of life.
Because that's what it's called in a
Man,
slide machine.
I wish we had a guy with a fucking snare drum right about now.
But he thinks you may be able to, with quantum, make a model that could tell you how to make a wormhole that you could actually just go anywhere through particles, similar to beaming somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
I love how he says it like he's giving a talk right now, similar to like class, finish it. You don't know what you're talking about.
Matt, this is what you call a TED talk.
He also brought up that we may have the prime directive. You guys know what the prime directive is?
TED. He says it twice. It's so funny. I suggest everybody go back and listen to that part of the Trump interview.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
'Cause the way
his
he-
voice gets, or his face gets crazy.
Ted.
TED. But he says it twice.
Yeah, and then again.
It's like Jacob Tutu. Did you ever see that movie, Matt?
Yes, Simon, thank
That
you.
was a big part of my childhood.
Go
Jacob
ahead,
Tutu
Kamar.
and the Hooded Fang.
Starfleet personnel are prohibited from interfering with the natural development of alien civilizations, particularly pre-warp societies. So that's sort of interesting. Like we may be on the cusp of developing technologies that makes us a warp society.
But what's so interesting is these are all like you guys were talking
It's all
about
made
theories 2 minutes ago. Yeah, this is a human theory where like we're assuming there's a
But-
space
but- but
federation
why
that
is
thinks
it
that we're
given
pre-warp.
Why isn't given less credence that these standards
Yeah,
could
listen,
be?
you're right. Kamar, that could be fucking bang on. I just think it's more it's just interesting that it's probably just this thing that we
Pre-warp societies have not developed faster than light space travel. Brian Cox wouldn't even broach that idea faster than, because he said if you were doing light travel, time disappears. And I'm always hung up on space and time are more than we think. You are always at a
I like
space.
how he's hung up on it.
No, but we
Asking the big questions out there.
But think about the universe, and you are always at a space
yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
If you were looking back, like you'd plot it, and you don't go anywhere, because once you pull out, you're still on the Earth, so you haven't gone anywhere. But you're always in space and time.
I have a trivia question for you, okay?
Okay.
What famous Canadian author penned the children's novel Jacob Tutu and the Hooded Fang?
I have no idea.
Roald Dahl.
He's not
Canadian author.
Margaret
Mowat.
Atwood.
No, but good guess. Go on, Kamar.
Farley Mowat.
Nope.
Give us the answer.
Mordecai Richler.
Oh, Mordecai. You guys don't want to hear all the prime directives?
Yeah, I do.
government?
Yeah, this is Star Trek's Prime Directives.
Yes.
So the first one is don't interfere with another civilization lower than you, right?
That's pre-warp society.
Yeah, nice.
Starfleet cannot non-interference. Starfleet cannot interfere with the internal affairs of development of alien species, even if those species are in danger or face moral or ethical dilemmas.
That makes sense.
That'd be the
You
bombs.
can't get involved. You can't stick your own ideas in there.
This
on
is to
places
ensure that
don't
these
belong.
civilizations can evolve on their own terms without outside
Just what I said.
Yeah.
technological advancement, which we know Scotty fucks around with.
You can't help people.
Starfleet officers are forbidden from sharing advanced technology with civilizations that are not ready for it.
You can't like go somewhere and give somebody all the bets to win the, you know?
I dream about that sports almanac all the time.
This is to avoid potentially harmful or disruptive advancements that could
makes-
alter the natural course of development.
You give the caveman a nuke.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Kamar. Go
Supreme law. The other one is no contact with pre-warp civilizations. But the Prime
knew
Directive is considered the highest law in the Federation and takes precedence over all other regulations, including the lives of Starfleet officers and crew. Violating the Prime Directive can have severe consequences.
I thought you said there were 9.
No, I said
Oh.
they were just they
Oh,
were
that's cool.
several key ideas.
And you know, I mean, I've talked about this ad nauseum, but many people believe that Roddenberry, who wrote Star Trek and made up the Prime Directive, and I say made up in quotes because he sat in on the Majestic 8
I knew you were gonna say that,
conference where apparently they met with a UFO, with an alien who gave them the rules of the universe. And he then took that
and wrote Star Trek and all
Star
sorts of
Trek
stuff. Yeah.
into pop culture so that we would all accept these ideas. It's so interesting, man. It's so interesting, which is what Sam Tripoli always says.
Who you hate, listen to, or you've come around.
No, I listen to him. Whatever. Come around.
I can't.
Came
I
around.
just
think
can't.
Simon
You know
hates.
what, Kamar?
I
I don't
can't.
like
I
you.
just can't.
People can change, man. People can believe something one day and think something else another
Just
day.
like Joe.
Fuck Joe.
Not everyone can change.
If you have that much money, you got to
my
stay the
God.
same.
Oh my God.
Those are the deals
Oh,
of the
you're
universe.
hilarious.
What's your favorite Star Trek movie?
Hate Star Trek.
My favorite
You're
Star
that
Trek
young.
movie.
Fucking hate Star Trek.
Well, you know what? I'm not a huge fan of Captain Kirk's crew. I like me a
You're a
Next
Picard.
Generation.
You're a Picard guy.
I don't believe they ever had a movie.
They did
They did?
for sure.
Did you see the Star Trek with Chris Bryan?
You think Picard had a movie?
Simon, Kamar, back me up. Picard had a movie. No,
I don't believe they ever had a movie. I think it went right from Kirk to
No.
the new Kirk.
I am.
And that would be my favorite, Kamar. One of those new ones. Dark side of the...
You saw those though, did you not?
Can you answer me though?
A Star Trek movie with
With Picard,
Jean-Luc Picard.
I feel like they never had a movie, man.
I'm almost
With
positive.
Worf and them. I don't... number 2.
Almost positive.
Really? What do
Yeah.
you think the movie was about or called?
I hate Star Trek.
Oh no, you're right, Maddie. It's kind of coming back to me, but I'm getting confused because there was a Picard movie.
First Contact,
Is it?
Nemesis, Insurrection, Generations. You got a lot of movies.
Those are all movies.
Those are all movies.
So like 4 or 5.
Okay, I'm gonna. I
Just a casual 4
I
or
have
5.
zero recollection of this.
Nothing crazy.
His last
My dad would really love Star Trek. If you can believe that. Nope, no one can believe that.
I can believe that.
Did you say your stepdad or your
No,
dad?
my dad.
I find, and you know what? Like my dad liked Star Trek too. I think it was just the
A
time,
generational
right?
thing, yeah, I
that's,
guess,
they grew
yeah.
up
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
it. So
My dad also loved the Three Stooges. Like that might have been his favorite thing on television ever.
no, you're absolutely right, Matt. I am so wrong.
Well,
So wrong.
Simon, I only said it. I mean, A, I remembered one of them, but B, they definitely like. There's no Star Trek where they didn't make a couple films. Every generation had
I
a
just
few.
have zero recollection of this at all. Like to me, it stops at Wrath of Khan and picks up again at Nemesis or at Star Trek rather.
No,
Anyways, I think it's Star Trek Beyond or Into the Darkness. One of those is the best one. Those movies are good. Like they turn Star Trek into a whole different thing. It's cool, but you still get like the core ideas of like the Roddenberry whatever, but with like modern.
hated Star Trek.
I hated, you know.
Oh,
I didn't like Star.
Here-
I didn't like Star Wars either. Though,
Here's
so.
the thing with Star Trek, the TV show with
Yeah.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Like I loved Next Generation.
Okay.
It was perfect because it was just like, you know, it wasn't so cheesy. that
Yeah.
it turned you off. It seemed new. Star Trek with Kirk was just way too cheesy for us, like in our time.
Yeah.
But the ideas were very cool. Like you could always get through the episode because it was a cool story. He just happened to be fighting a clearly dressed up lizard going
Or are you trying to do a movie game? Is that why you were asking?
Of course, but here it is.
I just looked at
this
all
breaks
the
it down.
Star Treks, by the way. Sorry.
But do you see that Picard joined forces with 23rd Century Enterprise Captain James C. Kirk in Star Trek Generations to fight the film's villain, Dr. Tolan Soren? But there's Star Trek Insurrection, where he defends the Prime Directive and fights the forced relocation of the Baku.
Wow.
So that episode is about someone breaking that thing and them having to do
So
like
you-
universal law.
You didn't watch The Next Generation?
Didn't watch any of it.
I did not want
Dude, The Next Generation is so cool with the
Data,
Borg and
the
shit.
Borg.
Just some of the idea. Oh,
holodeck.
So fucking awesome. I would tell you to go back and watch them, but you
You know
can't
I'm
even
not
watch like new shit that's out. But that's because of video games. If you didn't play video games, you'd be just like me and you'd be totally caught up on
You're
all
right,
TV
100%.
and you'd watch trash
Yeah, you're
because
right.
you would have run out of normal
Simon,
things
I'm
to
not.
watch.
Listen, I don't act like I'm better than you.
Oh, I mean, that's not what the people think, but okay, go on.
What's interesting is for the guy on the highest horse who actually thinks he's better than everyone, it's very much a pot
Wow.
calling the kettle black scenario.
No, you do this thing where it's like, woe is me, I'm so stupid. But meanwhile, you're like, I'm way better than everybody else.
No, I don't think I'm better than anyone.
I'll sit higher in my chair and nobody will notice. I'm set at like the lowest here, Matt, just because
As it should
I
be.
don't care.
Fuck, you're weird.
If it's only Earth as we know it, then life is meaningless, was his suggestion.
Sorry, repeat that for me.
If all there is the Earth, there's no other life, there's no other anything to do out there.
Doesn't that make life more meaningful? Like it's so important. If we're the only things,
I would
we're
agree.
the
I would
only
agree
things
with
that
Simon.
matter in the universe.
I would agree with Simon.
Like the fact that there's life somewhere else just like us makes us unimportant. I mean, not even because if there's only two of us in the whole galaxy,
still,
you know,
yeah, still
it's
very
so
important.
important.
Yeah.
But I think no matter what, we're important. And the fact that, I'm sorry to disrail this, but the fact that we don't understand time or space, like you were saying, which means that we don't understand age because we don't understand time and space. Like,
Well, no, we understand age.
no, we don't.
Yeah, we do kind of like listen. Listen, we made up hours, minutes, years, all that stuff. But like, even if, like Kamar's saying, if you get in a spaceship and you fly across the galaxy at light speed and then you fly back, when you get here, everyone is gone. All the people that you knew and loved. So age in the sense that
I mean, it depends on how you're flying through space.
no, it does not.
Of course it does.
No, it does not.
Yeah. If you're flying through space at normal human,
I just said at the speed of light.
at the speed of light. Yeah, exactly.
At the speed of light, you can
That's
do
old.
it. At
That's
any other
old
speed.
technology. You know what I mean? If you're flying through space by the holodeck,
You're talking about, that's not flying through space. That's you're talking about warping or like
bending time.
okay, sure.
Well, no, I'm just.
My point though is age remains the same. Like
Can I show you something, Matt? Can I tell you how age doesn't remain the same?
sure. Here we fucking go. Can you say something while you're doing this?
There's this is you,
Yeah, I
and
can't
this
wait for
is
this.
me. Okay, you're at one side of the galaxy, and I'm at the other.
Are you literally doing the event horizon?
see this?
I
You
hope
see
you
this?
fucking. You
We're-
are the worst human
We're
ever.
together now. Touche, or I mean, that's showbiz.
He won't pick that up either. By the way, he will leave the house tonight, and that fucking paper
I'll
will
come
be on
back
the
next
floor.
week, and it'll still be here.
No, Kamar, can we end this? What are we doing here?
No, come on, this is great.
You guys
This is a great
really
fucking
fucked
episode.
me when I was going through Star Trek and trying to get a film and just not caring at all as you're trying to go, I don't even know what you're doing.
I knew what you were
I
doing.
don't know what you're doing.
You know what we've never done as a movie? I don't think.
Give it to me.
Here, there, everywhere, all at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Very recent.
Yeah, it's too recent. You're right. Let's
Kamar.
go Star Trek: The Generations one with Picard.
Let's.
Oh, one I didn't see. Cool.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
the JRE
I bet you'll ace it.
The time has come again for Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE Movie Game. Come on, take it away, baby. Take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to figure out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing Star Trek because Brian Cox was talking about it as the prime directive, is what he thinks there could be life out there. There may not be life. Every answer to every question by Brian Cox is we don't know. But science is the act of finding out what we don't know, and then we can limit things and one day find out what we know. And maybe the quantum computer can do all the calculations all at the same time, and zoom, we're in the simulation, or as he called it, actually the singularity, which I wonder are two different things or one and the same. So this week we're going to Star Trek Generations, directed by David Carson, starring Patrick Stewart, that's who Jean-Luc Picard is, Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, Michael Dorn, Gates McFadden, Marina Sirtis, Malcolm McDowell, James Doohan, Walter Coing, and William Shatner. He gets his fingers on everything.
I'm ready, Maddie.
I'm ready too.
Okay.
I said it came out in 01.
I also said 01.
You're both right. It came out in 1994. Don't realize how old you are. And I dare say this might have been a movie that was one of our questions of the 90s.
Okay. So came out in 2001, we said?
Yeah,
You
it
guys-
came out in
Perfect.
94.
So we're both in contention.
Okay,
Let's
I
do
said it
this.
cost 27 million, which is insane for 94, and it made 148.
And I said 32, and it made 176.
Oh, we're both in the
Oh,
same
you
ballpark.
were so close because I thought you were going to say 117. It cost 35 million to make
Whoa.
and made 118 million at the box office.
Wow, that was not a
I was
popular
only
movie.
30 off on
Both
the...
of you, it's a tie. It's a
Yeah,
push.
it's
pretty
very
close,
close.
yeah.
And that's a movie game. Thank you for your cooperation, you motherfuckers.
Thank you. I'm going to have to go back and watch that movie, though.
I forgot to mention, thank
Zero
you so much to the
recollection.
Patreons. If you're not part of the Patreon, the reason why you join the Patreon is to support the podcast, and also you get the post show, which we're about to do, curated by yours truly. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Space is fake. Space is a scam. When he says
That's what Brian Cox said? Fake
no,
is space?
he said
and
people say that to him when he
Space is fake?
shares memes. But the thing is, government is not competent enough to pull these things off unless government is already subverted by information it's getting, a la Sandy Hook, a la child porn on my thing. Like,
Well, if NASA really is what Sam Tripoli contends it to be, then they could have just been orchestrating
fingers
the fucking
on everything.
the table for as long as we can remember. Like as the kids say in the club, we're all fam.
and just how they have to study particles and atoms, and they still don't know why they do what they do. If you pull up on us, same thing with humans.
But I love
If each human is an atom, why do you choose to think what you do and believe what you do?
yeah, right.
Too many calculations.
Right.
I give it a 3.
And what's to stop us if we're made of space dust? What's to stop us from at any point just becoming space dust again?
Just how the brain can say, you're not going to feel that pain.
Yeah.
I'll take care of this. You're going to departicleize and reparticleize.
Imagine you could figure out a way to become space dust again, and that's how you travel.
Figure out a way to
as
be what you
space
are, is
dust?
what you're saying? That's what you're saying to me,
That's interesting.
Well, to go back to your true form.
which is what you are.
You're already in your true form.
Your true,
Space
your
dust
true
as a
form-
human.
Your true form would not be anything.
Being human is being stuck in your non-true form, which is this, like you got stuck in a solid when
human-
really you're a gas.
A
You know
human
what
being,
I mean?
a human being.
Oh, that's
is,
interesting.
Is no, hear me out. Cotton candy.
Hear me out.
They pour a bunch of sugar, which is all granules,
Yeah.
into that thing, and for some you put a stick, and you go like that, and all of a sudden it goes. The particles that decide to hear, some go against the wall, some do, and it forms a thing made of all the thing that is uniform.
I don't mind that.
Cotton candy, baby,
I don't mind that.
sweet like you. Rate it. I give it a 3.
I give it a 2.
We just glazed right over this. Not the kids' word glazed. We just old school glazed right over this episode.
At your request.
Yeah.
no. I said Zeke Combs there.
This
we
we've talked about
glaze
this
over
longer
him.
than Luke Holmes.
Whatever, it's fine.
It's
we all
fine.
rated
Yeah,
it. We
we're
did a
all
week.
done.
It was a
It's
long
all
week.
good.
Donald
Long week.
Trump,
Donald
4
Trump fucked
episodes and a
everything up.
Oh,
fucking
his
thing.
poetic, his wax poetic. Democracy is a technology to stop war.
Well, we failed. Democracy has failed miserably.
Isn't it funny how we gave Trump exactly what he wanted? Like he was hoping he'd go on Joe Rogan and everybody would talk about him, and that's exactly what we did.
Mission
Like, just
accomplished.
everybody talked about him.
I think we are all getting played, and you think because you're a dissenter, you know something, but you're in for the ride too because you have bad information you're working on as well.
Yeah, you're just as stupid.
I'm as stupid as everybody else.
Agreed.
The
No, you're
only thing that
stupider.
makes
You're way
me better
stupider.
than you, Matt,
Is
is
that you
that
think
I
that.
know that Bigfoot exists, and you still haven't come to that realization.
Some would argue the
yet.
opposite.
But apart from that, we're both idiots together.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You're just like a tiny bit lower on the idiot scale.
Yeah. All right, gang. Well, if you made it this far, that's incredible. Maybe, just maybe, you're willing to go a step further. If you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/JREE podcast. You can support the show for as little as $5 a month. For that $5, you'll get a bunch of extra content. Post-show, the show we shoot the shit. Some old episodes of This Won't Age Well, the show where we went back, listen to old episodes of the same shit we do here. Moon debate. You might be trash, all sorts of stuff there. Go check it out. Patreon.com/JREE podcast. Thank you, as always, to BetterHelp for sponsoring the show. And thank you to the Patreons, past, present, and future. We love you all. We hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Thank you to all the Patreon out there. You have no idea.
you have no idea how many parlays
how
we're
much-
losing your money.
It's called gratitude, and that's right.
No, but seriously, when everybody who always signed up, who's ever signed up, it's insane. But when
Yep.
you get like 7 on the same day,
Oh, and I did
and
again.
you owe it all to Trump, it really feels good.
Dude,
you know,
I did it again. I know I'm waiting till the end and no one's listening anymore.
Yeah.
Because they've already tuned out.
You're
But
having a baby.
I am having a baby.
You've
yes.
said it on this show.
No, I said it on the
you
post, Joe,
wrote
last
it in
week.
your thing. You're really hitting all the bases.
Okay, I'm sorry, Simon.
We'll get it in post. We'll get it in mail. No, that is post. No, I'm just joking, Matty. Congratulations.
Thank you. No, but more important,
So
I
amazing.
had something. that
Matt
was-
and Joe have something in common.
yeah,
They're
we had
both
kids at
flip
40.
floppers.
Yeah,
We
flip
are
floppers.
all flip
They're
floppers.
both flip floppers.
I saw you at the Mel Gibson Film Festival.
Speaking of Mel Gibson
No.
Film Festival, they're coming out with an Apocalypto 2.
Great photo of the post, Joe.
No, yes. Thank you so much. Enjoy your week. Have a great weekend. And as usual,
Keep your eyes open.